Usually it's me.
Right. Enough of you space nattering. Let's space play. So I just got to do a quick space intro, and then we'll get into the real space meat and space
Space game.
potatoes of the space game.
Nice.
I'm busy.
So, I hope everyone has their characters and everything ready, some idea of what you're going to be doing, because otherwise, bad luck. So, the Hesiod galaxy is vast. There are so many different places that all seem worlds apart, and yet you can get to them so easily. You have the Green Bank, which is almost uninhabited save for scientists trying to discover what it is about it that makes plants and animals grow so well there. You have the Syrian colonies, the bourgeois, popularist, and very exclusive area of space. You have the frontier, wild, dangerous, and for the most part lawless, save for several small systems. Then you have the vast central area of Estron, where the vast majority of people live and the vast majority of trade is done. You have the New Union, the oldest and probably second largest of the systems or of the areas, and this is responsible for almost all the manufacturing that takes place in Hesiod. And finally, you have the High Tribunal of Law, a fanatically religious, highly militaristic place that struggles with cultural outreach and xenophobia. But first, we start at Zuva Station, sitting a huge spaceport nestled on the Inter-Asset Highway, the space lane that takes ship all around Estron and near each of the others. It is a vast, great, floating city in the blackness of space, and some people born there never leave. The Osiris Gypsy sits docked. It has a decent space near the loading offices with good access to the public trams. A large ship, blue and faded white, with a large aileron on the nose, hanging down like the beak of a bird of prey. Its four wings form a large X. It's an old S4 Harpy, sturdy and quick, favoured by everyone from pirates to haulers for being easy to fix and hard to break. The crew are mostly out in the station, however, enjoying a day of shore leave, looking for work and ways to spend their hard-earned cash. And so first on that crew, I would like to ask Dan to describe Orson and tell us what he's up to and what is he spending his money on.
Okay, because I'm not organized enough. Can you remember the mechanic? His name without me having to go look it up.
Oh, yes. Where is it? Katrina Alma.
That was it, Katrina. Sure. So he looks very much like his picture. He dresses. Well, you probably can tell he's like a frontiersman. Just from looking at him, like he's not high and fancy and mighty, but he is awfully chill with all the weird and wonderful things going on around him. It doesn't seem to faze him in the slightest, and he sort of moseys between stalls and browses wares of all different kinds, and he'll come to stop at some place like the rich folks. They get used to their like replicated food, but when you're born of the earth, you never quite lose that wanting real ingredients. So I imagine, looking at kind of like various dried mushroomy type ingredients. some spices, some sort of thick sweet sauce, and he's doing trade with whoever's at that stall. And whenever he's finished, like picking up all these various plants and bit of some sort of alien carcass or something like that, he's gonna take all of that towards Katrina's, who is a mechanic on board Zuva.
Yeah.
Hey Kay.
So you walk into this place, and you see the word K-Mech, like K-Mech, kind of over the, like in this kind of typical, like slightly flickering neon sign. And equally typically, you'd find like an old kind of beat up looking space or kind of like hovercraft type thing. And you would just see like a pair of legs kind of poking out from under it. She would kind of slide out on the rollers from underneath, and you see her face light up as she sees you. Grins and gets up, pulls you into a big hug. Awesome. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. We just had a little bit of a wealth from the last mission. Thought I'd splash it, and he kind of like drops various bags and stuff of food as he like goes to hug her, regardless of the grease.
And like when you pull away, I imagine she starts kind of looking through the bags. Oh, yeah. You got steaks.
Yeah, might not be like back home, but meat's meat. Better than whatever protein bars are. Ugh, he kind of like shudders.
Yeah, she rolls her eyes. Yeah, anything would be. You here for long?
Long enough to see some work done to the Gypsy.
Yeah? And she like kind of sits back, and imagine there's some like nuts or something, and she just pulls them out, opens the bag, and begins eating them. Like sitting kind of laissez-faire on the hood of whatever vehicle she's working on.
He like pulls out some sort of stalk of something like okra looking or a bit like a leek or something like that, and he's just like going to take a big bite. And then like start kind of like gesticulating with the rest of the stalk, like, yeah, we're me and the captain is in town, and we're looking for a few things. Finally come time to upgrade the shields, actually.
Oh yeah? You've been finding trouble?
This last one was a little bit close. I kept her flying, kept everyone alive, as I do. And he kind of like flashes a grin.
Yeah, she chuckles and rolls her eyes again. Of course.
But Captain's keen on. We got some new people aboard, and she doesn't think I can dodge every laser.
Well, she's never met your ego. She'll offer you a nut.
He'll take it. Grease-covered nut. Yeah. Not all of them have. Not for as long as the Cap has, but shields are there in case we need them. Or they will be. And he'll like lean forward. You got a window open?
Well, she kind of like strokes her chin. You can tell she's like trying to make you think she's gonna drive a hard bargain. I suppose I could put a few of my more high-profile clients aside, and she like pats the hood of this like beaten up old piece of shit that she's currently working on.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get away with you. your high flying clients.
It is, we're doing well here. But say you cook up a couple of those steaks, maybe I could move some things around in my busy schedule.
I think we come to an agreement. I think I got and he's like rummages around in something, pulls out like some sort of dried shiitake-esque mushroom thing. And it's like, I remember you liking these, and he kind of tosses them over.
She kind of like raises her eyebrows and gives you a look. Are these? She kind of trails off.
Yeah, I think they are. The guy, a little while back, selling a whole bunch of different things. But I spotted those in a corner. Steaks in these?
Steaks and these. And she like turns and she yells in a language that you don't remember her ever knowing when you were growing up together. And you see this tiny little alien creature walk through. He's about 2 feet tall, kind of round like a beach ball. He looks kind of like a gecko. He's got that wide kind of smiling mouth and bulging eyes. And he's covered in like this kind of grease-stained orange and brown jumpsuit. And you can see his like tongue coming up to lick one of his eyes. And she kind of motions to the transport she's working on and says some things in that language. And he kind of nods and goes to scoot under it. She says, "Schedule clear?"
Just like that. He'll pull a few pieces out of the bags and stuff, and head. I imagine he knows where this kitchen is.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
So
like her apartment, I imagine, is like attached to this place.
Sure.
But just in the back, a little free from grease.
We're in the usual hangar. There wasn't any other ships there when I landed, so I thought I'd take it. Right next to the tram.
Sounds good. I'll put that in before we enjoy our food. And she's got like a little cracked data pad that she's like dropped and scuffed and poured coffee on a million times. And she's like typing into it.
You still got that thing? Still going?
Hey, if I fix something, it's not going to break again.
That is good to hear. Gypsy's still flying. Maybe a few more cracks than when you last saw her, but not many. We're thinking about a repair droid as well. If you've gotten any models.
I don't carry those. You never quite get the same quality.
Nah. Can't ask it to do everything that you can.
She just says bad for business and gives you a wink.
Yeah. Some people like to do it with their hands. Some people like to get a droid to do it. He kind of just shrugs and he takes another bite and is still like twirling this thing like a drumstick or something.
Yeah.
But we've got a few more people on board. Captain wants to show him that we can legitimately look after them. He kind of like does the kind of thing,
or at least pretend to. And she like pulls out some cheap like booze and 2 glasses. And I think that's good for that scene. So we'll like
sure
to Dimmy.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe your character and what they're doing, please?
Sure. It's Shuva Station has probably got a lot of like little nightclubs and bars, and
hundreds.
Somehow Demi has found one that is busy enough to have a crowd, but not so fancy that it's got a nice one. And it's, one of those places that have like the tinny speakers because the bass like blew out like long ago, and like there's like, music pumping that is a couple of seasons back, but like, the owners can't be arsed to update the station or the playlist or whatever. And it's like that scene out of Vader's where it's like it's a huge group of people in the center, and there's two people like sitting at a table across from each other. One of them is Demi, you know youngish woman, mid to late 20s, scars on across her face, side shaved black hair with the white streak that appears natural. And she's got both hands like flat on the table and has kind of got like this like grim expression of determination. And there's like a line of like empty shot glasses in front of her as she stares across at her opponent.
Yeah. Her opponent is gigantic, would be 7 foot tall if he was standing, and about 7 foot wide as well. His skin is like grey and rocky, and his head is kind of short and flat, and he's sitting in the exact same position, staring her down as 2 more full shot glasses are placed in front. And that's had this huge loud belch that kind of ruffles her hair, and then reaches and daintily picks up the shot glass. He goes to like throw it back, leans too far and just falls back in his chair, and it just collapses into pieces, and the crowd just erupts.
Demi like jumps to her feet, like arms up, like she's like gymnast dismounting from the balance beam, as like people like clap her on the back, and she like reaches to the table, picks up her shot glass and downs it in one. And I was like, right, I'll take my money now.
And the guy like kind of groggily gets to his feet, and like with one massive hand he like bats the table, and it kind of like jostles slightly out of position, and I walks up to kind of square up to her, and says, "I ain't giving you shit." And the room kind of goes quiet for a moment.
Thought you Zenurk types were the honorable sort.
Kind of like cracks his neck, rolls his shoulders. He says, "Well, I live with your folks so long, I've learned a lot." And he kind of like pokes you with one like fist-sized finger.
Like she'll like grab it and twist it under to kind of like twist his wrist.
Yeah, make
and
me a
like look
grapple check.
over. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's a 19 on the dice plus athletics. That
Yeah.
would be 25.
Okay, you crushed him. So he goes, ah, 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 and like drops to one knee, and the crowd are just howling with laughter.
I'll take my money now.
And
that's where the accent is. I have to find it. There it is.
She's drunk. A weird accent comes out.
Yeah, it's you know.
And he kind of reaches down and like pulls out his kind of small like crack chip that he has and kind of hands it to you.
Much obliged, gentlemen. And she'll release his hand, gives a nod to his cohorts, and give a nod to everyone, and then slip out of the crowd.
Yeah, and he calls after you. He says, "Hey!" And you like stop, turn around, and he says, "You drink good, lady."
I know, lady.
I think
she'll kind of like...
Yeah. Finish that.
No, that's it. Like, okay. Yeah, I know, lady, and then like does like the, tugs on the collar, and like the collar pops up on like the leather jacket, and continues her badass walk.
Yeah, and
He's
the
gonna
dude is
keep
There's a
it.
little bit of a stumble.
yeah. Just like everyone turns back around to laugh at the dude, and she like has to kind of steady herself on a stool as she walks out. Like, "Whoa."
No one saw that. We're fine.
Gutsbraka, what do you look like, and what are you doing?
Gutsbraka, about a 7.5 foot alien, kind of a grayish purple hue, very giant features, very large hands. You can see bumps kind of all over his body, not very symmetrical at all. One of his eyes might be a little bit lopsided, giant forehead, no hair at all. You can definitely see there's quite a lot of scars on him. Very rough hands. Doesn't look like he can do much of any precision work at all. A beastly of a man or alien, if you will. He'd
He's
probably
the
be
doctor.
looking. Oh yes.
No precision work. Ooh,
Yep.
That's what
okay.
computers are for.
Let me sew you up. I got this 6-foot rope.
Exactly. I'd probably be looking for different kind of herbal shops, medicine shops, be it alternative healing or modern day things. Just looking for some different kind of maybe plants, herbs, medicines, if you
Yeah,
will.
so you don't find a lot to start with, but then you kind of come into this slightly fancier neighborhood, and you find this one very small, very uh, like what's the word, cosmopolitan looking tea shop, and inside you see like lots of people in flowery but like subtle aprons, kind of going about, and everything's arranged just so. It looks like one of those shops that like a rich trust fund kid gets, and then like has no idea and runs it into the ground like 3 months later. And you kind of walk in and you see there's like sort of slightly older woman kind of sitting behind a counter in there, and a couple like younger people kind of working and stacking shelves and stuff. And the younger people look a bit surprised, but the older lady seems rather disinterested, and she says, welcome. What can I get for you?" She like kind of puts down a little book she was reading on a tablet.
Do you have any medicines, maybe herbs or something like that?
Well, we have a few medicinal teas, and some definite healing teas, but we focus more on the spiritual side. I'm sure you'll understand.
Oh, okay. What's tea?
It's a drink made from herbs. You place the herbs in a cup, and then you pour boiling water over them.
Oh, it's like liquid medicine.
To some extent, yes.
Okay. Well, can you show me?
Of course. And she like gets up and she like potters over to one shelf, and she kind of like points a few out, and she says, "This one is our yellow herbal tea. It has lots of varying herbs and spices that will add a more yellow aura and really help you come to terms with things like the sun and happiness, which is what the yellow aura specializes in, as I'm sure you know."
Yes, I did know that. Yep.
Of course. We also have red, blue, and green, but that depends on what you're looking for.
Well, I just kind of like to be stocked up at all times if anything might happen to me or my friends. Just in case.
Well, if you're looking for medical healing supplies, there is a place just down the road, but I would say that time and tea are the best healers. That's what we say, at least. She kind of chuckles and like puts her hand over her mouth.
Time and tea. Oh yes. All right. Well, you know what? I'll try it. I try anything once. How much do you have like a sampling kind of pack or something?
Oh, of course. We have a sampling pack that contains 2 of each kind of tea bag.
Oh, splendid. Yes, perfect. How
Ex-
much would that be?
Excellent. And she holds it up, and you see this tiny box, that is, made of kind of flimsy cardboard, and she says, "That'll be 55 units."
Okay. Let's see here. Yep, I think I got that. And hand it over.
Okay. You just way overpaid for tea. And she hands it over, and she says, "Feel free to come back to Lady Lafaire's anytime you like."
Oh, I will. Yes, thank you. Do you have a map to the medical place?
No, but if you go out and take the first right,
Right,
and then the first left,
left,
and then take the next left,
next left.
you'll find it.
Okay, right, left. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Goodbye now.
And I'll try as delicately as I can to shut the door with just like a finger. And
Yeah.
I know I'm like a bull in a china closet, but
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, there is a lot of china in there. Teacups and the like. All right, make a navigation check then.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How much did I win for my drinking contest?
You won. Oh, fuck. 90 units.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sweet. That's almost enough for my boots already.
That's going to be a 14.
A 14. Okay, yeah, you're able to find it. You take a wrong turn one way, but you're not sure if it was a left or a right,
Left,
but
right,
you get
left.
there.
Right, left, right.
Eventually you find it, and it's like a much less kind of posh looking building. It looks kind of like a cross between an apothecary and a pharmacist. And there's like lots of people kind of bustling around inside. It looks relatively busy.
All right. I'm going to swing the door open and look around.
Yeah. So you find like all sorts in there, like things from your basic stim pack to bandages, plasters, band-aids as you would call them, and like stitching, everything you need to be a semi-qualified doctor in space.
And I already have a good amount of those kind of basic supplies.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, well,
it's-
that's great. I have another question for whoever the shopkeep is.
Yeah, sure. So you can approach a guy. He's like quite young. Looks like this is kind of his Saturday job or whatever. He kind of turns and looks up and he says, "Hey, you need something?"
Oh yes, I was looking for something in particular. Marvelous shop you have here, by the way. Very nice.
Thank you.
Do you have any medicines unique to this station I might not be able to get if I traveled elsewhere? I can kind of get these bandages and such at many places, but looking for, unique medicines, maybe it might be useful somewhere else.
He kind of like sighs and says, "Hey man, we're not that kind of shop." Like shakes his head.
Oh, okay.
Make me an insight check.
Oh, nat 20.
You think he thinks you're asking for drugs.
No, okay, say I have, like really rare disease, right? And there's
Uh-huh.
like a plant that can cure that disease, but the plant only grows in one planet and it doesn't grow in another planet. So that'd be like a special kind of medicine. Like if it was like to cure a rash.
To cure a rash. And you see he like looked real bored for a second, and then he kind of like realizes that your question is innocent. He says, "Oh, well, I don't really know what to tell you, man. This is Zuva Station. We got shipped from everywhere.
Okay, do you think you have anything particularly unique?
I mean, we got some like 200-year-old out-of-date stim
Oh?
packs.
Oh? Yeah, let's see those.
Sure." And he like goes to the back and comes back with this like real dusty box, like puts it down and shows them, and they're like in the old style where new stim packs have like an EpiPen. There's like a casing around the needle. These ones are just a giant fuck off syringe that's like got this kind of plastic catch in place.
Oh, those look magnificent.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I
Uh,
do an investigation check just to see maybe how rare they are, or yeah. I'll do that.
yeah, I'll
See
say
if I
you can do medicine or investigation if you like.
Ooh, medicine, 100%. All right, let's so cool. So that is going to be a 16.
16. Yeah, so these look like leftover military stim packs from like some war skirmish that happened a long time ago. You don't know if the medicine inside will still work or if it might have other effects. Now that it's like gone all, it's matured like a fine wine. So you're not entirely sure what you'd be buying, but
But it's unique.
it's definitely unique. You've like seen pictures of these, but
How much would you like for these, good sir?
I'd have to ask my manager. They're not really
Okay, I can wait.
sure, man. And he
And I
like
just start twiddling my thumbs
yeah.
right in front of him.
He like turns and goes to find a man, and you see them talking. And it's like he wants the out of date ones. Yeah, specifically, yes. But you serious? Yeah, okay. And they like come back, and the manager says, hello, sir. I would be happy to sell you these rare antiques Stimpaks for, shall we say, 60 units?
How about 30 units?
Done.
All right. I'll hand over 30 units.
Sure. And he hands over a box of 5 200-year-old Stimpaks.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all the unique stuff, and I already got the bandages and everything. I think I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I like
fantastic. Those will have other effects.
it. Awesome.
And so we'll fly on over Harper or H, whatever you prefer.
Did you determine how much it would cost me to make a comlink?
Yes. On Zuva Station, you're going to be paying about 90% of the price. So we'll say, what's it normally, 75?
That's what you said yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, so 65 we'll say, which isn't obviously 90%, but
That's close enough.
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, just so I could update my sheet. H is sat in a booth in a bar. It's probably a bit of a dive. She looks terribly out of place. Vibrant blue skin. Hair's always tied up. It's never down because that's a danger when you're working with mechanics. The feathers come as described, as you can see the picture. They come from below the chest, over her shoulders, and down her back, finishing in these long wings, which usually get in the way, but she just tucks them around her when they're not in use. She always seems to be a bit greasy, which is a bit weird considering how pretty she looks normally, and she's just covered in grease, and she's got these goggles on as she's putting the final touches to this tiny little circular device in her hand, just connecting pieces, and then clicks in, and then she puts it in her ear, and she's like, finally. And she's got a bottle beside her of green Heisenberg beer, and she takes a swig.
Yeah, and you see you're definitely getting some very odd looks from some kind of ruffian types, probably look a bit like Dimmy. But they're all kind of glancing over you, just watching you with a who's this weirdo kind of look.
Is there a problem, gentlemen?
One of them kind of slides in next to you, and he goes, "You're from that Wazuzu place or whatever it is, right?"
It's Pazuzu. But yes, that's where I'm from.
You a princess, little one?
She gives a deep sigh, much like the one I just did. My full name is High Princess Harpa Soledad Winona with Legate Staminia of House Lerona and House Tylay. But my friends call me H.
Well, H.
You may call me High Princess Harpa Soledad Winona Legate Staminia of House Lerona and House Tylay, thank you very much.
You see, two of his kind of companions, the other one slides into the booth next to the other guy, like opposite you, and another one slides in next to you, kind of pinning you in at the corner. And the guy kind of waits for you to finish and says, "Well, H, we're feeling thirsty. Fancy buying us a couple drinks?"
I'm afraid I spent the last of my units on creating this little dinky. And this. And she, like, takes her hand. And when she clenches her fist, like, these screens pop up on her arm. I call it the multi-glove. It has a lot of uses. And then she opens her fist and the screens disappear.
The men are like, see, they're like very taken aback by how oblivious you seem to be to their intimidation. And he kind of like glances to the others and kind of rolls his eye and goes, "Well," and then they just leave.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you deal with creepy dudes.
Yeah, normally they
anything-
don't just leave.
Yeah, I feel like usually knife
So-
in the gut or something, but
They're leaving because they're in a public place. They weren't actually going to do anything, but they kind of
Sure.
counted on the fact that she would have been intimidated. But yeah, so they scoot off. Is there anything
She's a-
else? Oh yeah.
She's had to deal with politicians trying to intimidate her whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
A
Is
couple
there,
of rowdy dudes in a bar doesn't phase her.
is there anything else you'd like to do, H?
Probably finish the Heisenberg and then head back to the ship to make sure that she's ship shape.
Get up.
Can we say that Demi heads back to that bar at some point? Like maybe that's where she started before she did her crawl, and then she'll catch back up with H, and they'll head back together.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Dimmy, I managed to finish that comm link. When we get back into the ship, I can set it so that we can communicate with each other. And anyone else who has one.
Great. That's great. That's real great. She just kind of like nods.
How was your adventures in Yuzuva Station?
Made some money. My accent is all over the place.
It's great. Keep going.
I made some money. There we go. We're down into the southern territories now. I made some money.
That's good to hear. I'm sure the captain will be very pleased.
I'm not sharing it. I'm not sharing it.
Not that you'll be sharing it, of course.
No, the fucking pilot took most of my money. Took like a good portion of my money this last time. I ain't gonna get none of this time.
That's what happens when you gamble with Orson.
I'm learning his ticks. That's what's going on. I learned his ticks, and next time he won't win that much off of me. Probably, maybe I'll win off of him.
cute montage of like lots of different times of gambling, and Orson looks no different in any of them.
Yeah. He's just always got.
stressing and sweating. Or
He's
something.
got the World Series of Poker where he's still wearing his sunglasses and he's kind of like leaning on one elbow, like hand on the chin, just staring at her, and she's like, "Shit!" throwing down her cards.
Maybe a casual game of what's a space poker equivalent?
Space poker.
Space poker.
Spoker.
Spacker.
Maybe a casual game of
Spacker.
space poker when we turn into an 100-unit affair.
I don't like space poker. I prefer like a real game, like
Like what?
Daenerys or something.
I've never played.
Yeah, well, it's a real game. That's my problem, is that I let Orson talk me into space poker. What kind of game is space poker? That's some frontier bullshit is what that is.
I've never been. But they do seem slightly more backwater. Says me.
Yeah.
Well, everything's slightly backwater to you, H.
An excellent point.
Yeah. And you guys like round the corner and you see the gypsy like sitting there, and you see kind of crawling all over the surface of it are these tiny little gecko-like creatures, all 2-3 feet tall apiece, just scuttling over it, all in orange and brown jumpsuits, like kind of pulling up parts and like fiddling with spanners and wrenches and all kinds.
Can I quickly work out that these are mechanics?
They look like they know what they're doing.
Okay. Because my immediate response was, get off my fucking shit.
Yeah, so you like see and they look like you know what they're doing. You're just not sure what they're doing.
I'm sorry, can I help you there? Oh, God, I don't speak that many languages. In fact, I don't speak any languages. Who sent you? Oh, there's no point in asking, is there?
I mean, would assume they're the mechanics get that Orson was talking about.
Oh, of course, I forgot about her. Him? I don't know their genders.
Well, he said he was gonna arrange for the upgrades, so this must be them arrangements.
Do you need any assistance? Oh, they're not going to understand me, are they?
Now they're getting paid to do their job. You let them do their job, and you enjoy your day off. That is what days off are for.
You know how much I like building things.
Well, I mean, in this particular instance, we are paying for a. She stops herself from saying professional. We are paying for excellent service, and we should appreciate the luxury while we can.
As you say that, two of them seem to get into an argument, and one of them starts whacking the other one on the head with his wrench.
Making a horrible squishing noise, I imagine.
Oh, great. We've got Jar Jar Binks fixing our ship. A bunch of Jar Jar Binkses.
Hair droids.
Would you like to go inside and teach me that game you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, before I start twitching.
Oh, and we need to connect the comlinks.
And finally, Captain Carrier.
So Kira probably was the last one
Apologies.
off the ship. She probably gave a cursory glance to her personal terminal, check and see if there's any messages or anything, and then kind of went into the little shops, replacing the things that had been, stolen or broken in by the last ungrateful crew that she had. And then after that, she's going to probably go and see if she can't find a little seedy little bar that might cater to people looking for shipping work.
Yeah.
That might be, yeah.
So you would know on Zuva Station there's also like a job posting board, which is like this kind of huge. It almost looks like something out of Wall Street, where there's all these big screens everywhere and lots of little terminals that people look at and can browse jobs of different types. But yeah, you can kind of set yourself up in a bar as well.
It might be like in airport bars, like smaller terminals that have jobs.
Yeah,
scrolling.
for sure. It's kind of a like Zuva Station OS type thing, where you can like look at the news and you can look at like shipping manifests of things coming in and out that are on the public channel, and then you can kind of flick to the jobs, and once you kind of put in the parameters of like your ship type and everything, there's a few jobs that come up, all with contact details, and so just as a little kind of systematic type thing, like anytime you come to a space station, there is going to be one of these systems where you can see news and lots of jobs. And so you can like look at a job, any job that you want to look at. It gives you like a little kind of spiel about it, how much you can expect to be paid, and contact details for the person giving you the job, so that you can like get in touch with them and start it formally.
I'll like save like a couple of the postings that might look interesting.
Yeah.
We can go over that later or whatever.
Yeah,
when
for
we're
sure.
back all together and stuff like that, and we like kind of decide what we want to do next. If the bartender or if anyone comes up and brings me a drink, I'll tell them I want a whole bottle.
Yeah.
And then just that's kind of browse that, probably drink the bottle, like finish the bottle or whatever, and then just head back to the ship eventually.
Near, you go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say that I'll sort the droid out on the way back. I guess.
Okay.
I guess go to some sort of generic droids R Us or something
Yeah.
quite kind of place, and this little thing will toddle after me. I'm guessing, maybe carrying its own charging station.
Yeah. So it looks sort of it doesn't look, it's not a humanoid type thing. It kind of looks like one of those, I don't know what they're called, they do have a name, those little like black trundle droids that drive around the Death Star like remote control cars. It's kind of,
There's mouse droids.
yes, it's kind of like that but bigger.
Or there's a gonk droid, which is the one that.
No, not a gonk droid. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's it's a small thing like that, and it does come with a charging station that's kind of, it drives into and then can charge itself up. And so you'll need to install the charging system properly, like manually, so that it's, in sync with the computer, and the computer can tell the droid where there's damage. But the droid itself will just follow you, and you've got like the kind of control fob for it for now.
Cool.
And so I imagine, what with everyone imbibing various narcotics and
I was just gonna say one more thing.
yeah.
Like around maybe an hour, maybe half an hour towards like whenever the bars close in like this cycle, like Demi's probably gonna head back out, find like the first dive that she could find, and is going to look for some mail company of a certain physical type and let them take her home.
Very well. And so, with all our various vices imbibed, we'll skip to the next morning, and everyone kind of reconvenes in the ship, whether it's coming in from outside or staggering out of a hangover. Maybe someone's cooking, and there's coffee all around.
A little bit more loud than usual. If you all want to drink so much, you wouldn't get that bad of head pain.
I kind of like flip a pan of like mushroom-esque things and tomatoes and things very, very slowly, and just be like, "Another great diagnosis, Doc."
With a 22 con, despite her or 22 con save, her her hangover was not quite so horrendous, and so she comes in, settles into like her usual chair already, and waits for Orson to finish breakfast.
H comes down and gives a, which is like Pazuzu for good morning. Because they're birds.
Oh, I love that so much.
That's top notch, Liam.
Orson like gives a little nod as you pass by the galley kitchen or whatever we've got going on. He's like, "Princess."
I wish you wouldn't call me that.
Oh, but you're so eager to tell everyone. I bet you told someone yesterday, didn't you?
She like opens her mouth to respond, and then she hangs her head.
I knew it.
I feel obligated.
Someone's gonna catch up with you.
You ain't obligated to do shit for nobody. You're out here on your own as much as the rest of us. The only obligations you have would be the ones you've got here. And she kind of does like a little spinning finger around the Osiris.
So I imagine the inside of the Gypsy is kind of combination, like nice but not too nice, if you know what I mean. Like that combination of was really nice once but has seen a lot of wear and tear, and so I don't think it's not like the inside of the Enterprise on like the new Star Trek films.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as bad as the Millennium Falcon interior, because you guys take quite good care of it. But yeah, I imagine it's all kind of painted with the same kind of faded white and blue, to some extent.
Is the repair droid charger visible?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up to you. I just want to ask one thing beforehand because we have breakfast together before. Does she have an issue with eggs? No, I just thought I'd check because he would know by now.
Oh, sure. No.
Right.
They reproduce like humans.
Okay,
Because
cool.
they don't have like egg-bearing hips.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I know.
Cool.
Alright.
So
But if you ever
hear-
serve a chicken, she'll freak out.
They're like platypuses. They've got the feathers, but they don't.
Watch out for those venomous spines. He's gonna crack some eggs into the tomatoey, mushroomy thing he was making, and then like they'll sizzle up and he'll come out and serve, and it's kind of like vaguely shakshuka, if you've ever had that Turkish tomatoey eggy dinner thing or breakfasty thing.
See, I'd
and
just
he'll-
like to... Oh, sorry. Carry on.
Sorry, no.
I was just going to say, platypuses do lay eggs. That's sort of the whole point of them.
Yeah, but they don't
well,
have feathers.
you know what I meant.
The exact opposite of what you said, yes.
Yes. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
He'll serve up to whoever is there. I don't know if the cap is there or not, but when he serves Princess, he will say, I picked up that thing the cap was anchoring for.
Oh, the repair droid.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. And she like rubs her hands together.
They said something about self-installation. I figure I can leave that to you.
As soon as I finish this, I'm on it. And she like smiles, and this first time you've really seen her, not you, but the audience, and she has these rows of incredibly sharp teeth. it's like very contrasting to the pretty face that's there, and then just these rows of sharp teeth.
At this point in time, Kira will come in. Good morning, everyone.
Captain.
I trust you all had a restful day.
Orson like gives a like half salute and then like pushes a breakfast plate towards you.
Thank you.
Demi responds to the restful day with a slight little crooked half smile.
God. Do you see the repairs then, Kane?
Yeah, we got upgrades. As far as I'm aware, the shield should be good and ready. I haven't had need to test it yet. But
Should hope not.
yeah. And we got the droid. And it looks like Princess over there is going to get on it after breakfast. I'm just imagining the smuggler's compartment we always kind of had. Like they were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Just took a little steak dinner, and we got to the top of the list.
All right.
And there's like a little knowing grin. You probably know all too well.
Yeah.
All right.
You can still hear a little clanging coming from above you, and like little pitter-patter footprints. They've been at it all night.
Don't worry about those frog people.
I mean,
You
you're doing the job, right?
Very true. Very true. They don't have the sophistication.
Listen, I'm real sorry. I mean, we've been over this. We were here. I thought I'd give you the day off.
Oh no, it's fine. That's fine. Absolutely fine, Captain.
I'm not saying anything about the quality of work you've been doing. It's just you need a day off. You've been pushing as much as we have.
Thank you, Captain. Again, another massively toothy grin.
Speaking of which, I've got a few options for us once we get done here.
So
Where's Goot Bracker?
he came in. He was shouting at you all. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Shouting
right.
really loud at us.
He's just not saying anything else. Gotcha. Cool. Apologies.
So, with all the search parameters that would be viable for your jobs or your ship and your crew, there's 4 jobs that you've narrowed it down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you the little spiel. So the first one, they all start with, like, in all caps, wanted. Purchase and delivery of Virium nanofuses for project in Green Bank. Please contact 600U plus cost. Dan, I can give you these word for word if that's...
Cheers, that was literally what I was thinking,
Yeah,
so
I could.
I will
tell.
relax for a moment.
And then the second one says, wanted, ship capable of travel to frontier to deliver vital medical supplies. Please contact Dr. Janus Flinch, 1200U. The third one says, wanted, ship capable of travel to the frontier. Travel comms have gone dead and I need the cargo recovered. Transport comms have gone dead and I need the cargo recovered. Please contact 700U. And finally, wanted, ship capable of travel to Altair. Small shipment of one antique tea set to be collected from Cantus, brackets Syrian colonies. Please contact 400U and possibility of further work.
So 400 you?
Yeah, they're all in the Vagrant chat for you to look at word for word.
As we're being told this, can I be installing the repair droid charger?
Absolutely. Make me a quick
Brilliant.
mechanics check. It won't be a hard one.
Perhaps with advantage because you're on home turf.
I'm
we could
afraid if I
assist.
gave that once, I would have to give it every time.
Okay.
But it's not a hard check.
I hope not, because that's a 10.
A 10 is the DC.
Oh, awesome.
Thank God for not breaking our brand new repair droid.
I rolled a 2.
Unfortunately, the instructions are in a language you don't understand, but you're able to intuit what you're supposed to do.
Is it like the IKEA space stuff? It's just like little
Oh my
figures.
God.
And
Yeah, but the thing that's difficult about it is all of the figures have 6 limbs and assume that the person assembling it does as well. So that's why it's so hard.
And this is just giving H all new ideas for stuff she can build.
So,
But those are the jobs that are coming in on Zuva Station at the moment.
so if I'm looking at these jobs, do I think any of them are more dangerous than the other?
Yeah, so you would just know that, like, the Green Bank is way out in the middle of nowhere, and so if shit goes wrong, you're kind of stranded a little bit. A little bit more than normal, but you'll probably be fine with the people you have on board. The Frontier is always a bit hit and miss. Like, there's some really nice areas, like the Wademi Reaches, where Orson comes from, and there's some real rough areas. And then Altair and Cantus and the Syrian colonies are both, like, very, very wealthy places. Well connected, but that work is much cheaper.
It's cheaper, and dealing with those prissy ass people could be difficult at times, right?
I mean, we got a princess on board.
Well,
But
I mean,
don't mind me saying, but we got 2 jobs in the frontier. Couldn't that be a little bit of 2 birds, 1 stone?
this is why I like you, because that's exactly what I was thinking.
You keep me on for a reason.
Yeah.
It sure isn't my personality.
Oh, come now. You're sweet enough.
When I can be.
All right. So, you think we try for both the jobs in the frontier?
They are both the highest paying, she says, as she's like got the goggles down and she's trying to interpret this fucking...
like head just like turning to one side and then the other.
Yeah, because it sounds like one, we'd be taking something in, and then in the other, we'd be taking something out. So as long as time is not of the essence for the cargo recovery, we might be able to swing both.
Do any of them have like a time limit's maybe not the right word, but let's say time limit?
So that's all the information you're given.
I
But
see. Okay.
it's expected that you, like, contact the person who posted the job, and, like, iron out the details, like, with them. And it's basically a Skype call like communications.
Yeah, I'm assuming the only one of them has a name, but I'm assuming they all have a contact number listed.
Yeah,
You just
so
didn't know which
yeah, only one of them has a contact name, but the others are all.
Is that a sign of them not knowing how this works, or is
In
it
your
a sign that
experience, some people don't like to put their name on the thing necessarily, but it has no real indication because there's so many jobs. You know what I mean? Like,
does the number go
those.
to Dr. Yanis Flinch, or did someone post it on their behalf?
No, it's his number,
Okay.
presumably.
So we'll contact this doctor,
Okay.
and yeah, we'll go from there.
Just my 2 cents. This tea set, they're taking it from here to the colonies, Syrian colonies. Might just be a real easy job.
No, it's collected from the Syrian colonies and taken
sorry.
to Altair. No worries. But
To be collected.
that would almost all be on the
Yeah,
inter-asset
it's just to be
highway.
collected. Okay. Right. Yeah, I just thought it would be easy on the transport, but yeah.
I mean, it would definitely be the easiest job. Like, you'd be unlikely to run into any issues.
I just thought it was something we could
Yeah.
do as well as. But also, do I have any idea what a Virium nanofuse does?
You
Or
can,
do I?
You can all make me, let's say, systems checks.
Hey, I know that thing.
Is it only people who are proficient?
No, you could have heard of them randomly.
It's intelligence, right?
Yeah.
18.
12.
I got a 17 too.
So I'm going to say the only person who's ever heard of this, or something like this, is H. You've never heard of Virium nanofuses or Virium at all, but you've heard of nanofuses, and they're pretty much what they sound like. Basically,
Fuses that are really, really tiny.
Yeah, generally used in robotics to control like the minutiae of movement and to short out any severe issues that go down.
If it was a cool piece of tech, he would be vaguely interested. I
mean,
presume
going
it's a
to
cool
the
piece
green
of tech
bank,
because he has
yeah.
no idea. So
Yeah, so jobs of the Green Bank are few and far between. So for the curious mind, that might be the most interesting. But
sure.
I've
Your
never heard of
business.
Virium before, but I've used nanofuses in my glove.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe it'd still be a thing when we get back from the frontier.
We can only hope.
The frontier could be a kind of a big place, though. Is in this section of it, do we get an idea of where in the frontier the jobs might be?
You
Like,
need to
are they
call.
need to call?
Not
Okay.
on the surface. Yeah, you need to call. Any information that isn't in the messages I sent you, you'd need to call to ask.
Okay.
Right. Well, looks like we have a choice made.
I mean, the only thing they can, ruin it is if it's going to cost us so much to get to, the frontier. It's hardly worth it by the time we shake out the profit.
That's why we do both jobs. Increase our
Likelihood of making a profit.
Yeah.
I figure that the second one, Com's Gone Dead, that sounds awfully urgent to me, so they probably want someone going quick. You might be able to push that a little. I mean, maybe the doctor the same, but...
So you want me to call the transport first and see where they're at?
Yeah.
And see if I can't push that price a little higher?
Maybe. I'm sure the doctor's probably cooler than they are.
Alright then. I will contact whoever has the other side of the line for the frontier.
Which job?
The comms job.
The
The
comms job.
700. Yeah, the third one.
Okay. Yeah. So, you kind of call it. The call kind of doesn't connect for a little bit, and then you see through a presumably cracked camera lens on the other side, a woman who looks like a mechanic. She has like a jumpsuit on with the arms tied around her waist, very like greasy, filthy, tank top on, and her hair is all like shaved down to a buzz cut. And she kind of just like looks down at the camera, frowning, like wiping some grease over it, and kind of scowling. She says, "Hello."
This is Captain Kira Emanuel of the Osiris Gypsy. Got your post and
Oh, shit! Right, yes. Of course. You guys can get to the frontier.
it depends. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, I'm Clyde Rain. I'm kind of a mechanic slash
Okay.
salesperson. Oh.
Mechanic salesperson. And you need us there, and I imagine you need us there on the double.
As quick as you can, yeah.
And you're offering 700 units.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
We're not really into charity. Getting us there faster is gonna force me to push the ship a little bit. You got a little room in your budget to negotiate?
She kind of like rubs her head, and she says, "Look, maybe I could find my way into some more, but that would have to come after the job's done. I own a bar. You can have free drinks at my bar if you. I really need this."
Demi perks up.
A bar here on the station?
Yeah, Zuva.
How about some of your stock that we can move?
You see her kind of like look down, look back up, and she says, "Look, my stock's on the transport. I haven't got any more, and if I don't get it, my bar's fucked. So you do it, you can take a cut, sure."
Excellent. And how long? What's the timetable look on this? Quicker the better.
Yeah.
What's the name of her bar? Like Demi says, trying to like peek around the view screen without being seen to see if she can recognize the.
Yeah, you don't recognize her. It's not a bar you went to. She says, "My bar's called Clyde's," and she kind of like shrugs, knowing that she's named it after herself.
Do I know any? Do I know of it?
Yeah, you've probably seen it. It's a bustling little place, but it's been closed since you've been here.
Mm.
For obvious reasons. Okay.
Look, I had someone shipping it in from the frontier. The ship was just about to head out, and then everything went dead. I haven't heard from them. My tracking number doesn't work anymore. They have a shitload of my booze on board, and if I don't get it, I'm fucked.
And we get the 700 regardless of what happens?
Well,
Listen, it's the frontier. Chances are, someone high, took off with your booze. I'm sorry.
Look,
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna see what I can find, and hopefully that's not the case. But you know as well as I do that some of these shipping companies are shady as hell. Your booze got sold to probably 3 or 4 different bars. I'm sorry.
look, if you can get out there and find out what's happened, Sure.
All right, we'll do it for 700 and a cut of what we find.
How much of a cut?
20%.
She like rubs her chin. 20?
20% of whatever we find.
Fine. Deal. And you
All right.
see like she kind of taps on her phone and like a payment authorization thing comes up, and there's like a whole load of legal text that no one ever reads. That's like, by accepting this, you accept the parameters of the job. Blah 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 blah.
And it has all the tracking details of like the ship that we're looking for, last known location, all that stuff.
Yeah, last known location, and the name of the ship. So
Alright.
the last known location seems to be just outside of a system named Minas, Minas, in the frontier, and the ship doesn't seem to have a name, but rather just like a tracking code, generally one used by like big shipping companies, and it's, you know, a string of numbers and letters. Just because
Do
they
I
have so many
recognize it?
ships, they don't need to name them all.
How big is the ship? Would we actually be able to carry back whatever it's supposed to be carrying
Yeah,
in the Harpy?
the ship seems to be about the same size as yours. It was
Okay.
not a huge amount.
Do I recognize anything about the shipping code or the name of the shipping company?
No, nothing in particular. You probably heard of the company.
I was going to ask, do I recognize the location? Is that a particularly dangerous place, or is it so big that I've never
you can roll me a history check. And while you're doing that, the name of the company is just the Frontiera Shipping Company, and it's, you know, very standard for all things Frontier. Generally, like the safest way to ship stuff from and to the frontier without it going awry. Got a relatively good track record, but nothing's perfect.
That was a grand old 9. So
You've not heard of Minas before. It's in the opposite side to where you lived.
Does it have like their itinerary of like their route?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it basically pretty straightforward, like how you'd imagine. Move from the frontier, get to Bright Network Gate D, move into Gate C, and then fly to Zuva from there. Or join the Interasset Highway and fly to Zuva from there.
Alright, well. We'll be in touch then.
With your I've like gone in depth on the way piloting and flying works with Dan, just for like everyone else's understanding briefly. Basically, you have three types of power. The first is impulse, which is like for flying on the planet's surface. And that's generally speed limited, and it consumes electricity, which is stored and generated by its own motion. So unless it's broken, you never run out of impulse power. The second stage is kinetic power, which is generated by kinetic engines that use nuclear power or something akin to that. They require carbon nanotubes, but basically you only need the nanotube to start the jump to kinetic, and then that's all the fuel it uses. So it's basically a sorry, I'm tripping over my words. And like distance is measured in clicks with a K, which would be like how many times you're going to need to jump the engine to get somewhere. Because obviously kinetic power will wind down after a while. And so, like, say the frontier might be like 7 clicks away. And so that would take 7 tubes to use. And then, but that's modified by the engine, but that's fine. So that's basically all you need to know. or 7 jumps, which consumes tubes based on your engine. Anyway, just so you know, so to get to the frontier is going to be, or to get to the location it was last seen, is going to be about five clicks or 5 jumps. And so generally nanotubes, like one set of nanotubes, can make the jump to kinetic about 10 times before they burn out. But that depends on the engine you have. So you guys have the Grand Force SPD, which can make it 12 times before you need to refuel. So getting there will take 5 out of your 12. Getting back will take another 5 out of your 12.
So basically, we're looking about on a.
We're still docked. We're just about to leave, though, right?
You're still docked, yeah.
Okay.
You're a little quiet there, Andrew. I don't know if you can move your mic closer or something.
Everybody needs medical check before we leave.
No.
Yes, that's rules. I have to take notes. I'm doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the other doctor and see about these medical supplies that they want, so you can check the rest of the crew.
You're captain. You need to be checked. Everybody needs to be checked before we leave any place.
Why?
Diseases, different things you might have tracked, all sorts of things.
He's right, you know.
What? You think you got a disease?
How would
Nah.
you know? I haven't checked yet.
I mean, you were out for an awfully long time last night. She winks at you. Dimmy, I should clarify.
She shrugs.
Looks like Dimmy's up first. And he kind of nudges by you.
Can I
Okay,
please
come
call
into
the other?
office.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna call the other doctor.
All right, like Demi will shuffle off after Guts.
For sure.
And as soon as you get into the medical, so how have you been feeling?
Fine, fine.
How's your
Same as always.
I love the idea that you speak at like 8 decibels, and then you go down to like 20 when you've got your doctor voice.
You gotta put Dr. Baines
Bedside
in
manner.
reality.
What was that second question?
How's your head?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, any snuffles or anything?
No, no snuffles.
No snuffles? Okay. And then I'll kind of very, very gently check your eyes, get a little tongue depressor, check everything, check up your nose. Okay, okay.
Snuffles
Yeah.
in space is a deadly disease.
And I don't like sniffles, but
Awful.
well, you don't want to get snuffles.
Yeah.
I'll flick each of your knees.
Yeah, Demi complies with precision and like almost anticipating each question before you. It's like, oh, like she'll like lean back whenever you're getting ready to do the reflexes or whatever. Like she's done it like 1,000 times before.
The way you say each of your knees makes me think of Zoidberg. Like you think elbows are also knees. So like
Sting in the elbow.
Any
Ow,
muscle
computer.
pains, bone pains, or joint pains?
Nah, fit as a fiddle.
Okay, okay. Just got to scan you with this thing. Bloop. Alright, you seem good. Alright, here's your lolly.
Oh my god, yes!
Thank you, Guts. And she'll like you know, grab the lolly like excitedly, opens it up, and like walks out with it proudly. All like looking at the others, like, look at what I got. You don't have it.
It's grape. It's fucking grape flavored.
Next!
All right.
Jesus.
So you all, while everyone is getting checked, you call up the other guy, and you find him like kind of sets up his phone on a desk, and you can see he's like pulling on a lab coat, and he's got kind of a square jaw, like long hair. He looks a bit roguish. Doesn't look like you would imagine a doctor would look, but then again, your doctor is Guts, so. And he's got like kind of a lot of scars, like kind of all over him, especially in his face. And he goes, "Hey, you calling about the job?"
Yes.
Okay, well, we got a shipment of medical supplies here on Zuva. You take him to a planet called Vinta in the frontier, about 4 or 5 jumps. You're dropping them off at a warehouse on the southern pole of the planet. Sound good?
I'll look at Orson and kind of like see like how doable I think this is with our current job.
Does that seem incredibly doable
So
to
you
Orson?
you can make a history check on Vinta. See if you've been there.
Okay, that's better. 16.
Yeah. So it is roughly the same distance, but and like they're pretty close to each other. You'd think it would probably take 2 kinetic jumps to get from Minus to Vinta. So you could make the trip with just 1 set of nanotubes, but if anything goes wrong, you have nothing left, like no jumps.
Do we have a spare set of nanotubes? Do we need to purchase?
You might need to purchase them,
Okay.
and they're pretty expensive. So.
Orson
much-
says, sorry. You
Sorry,
go.
I was just, how much do they cost?
Yeah. So
200
general running price about 200 units.
We've been paid 700, but already because she forwarded the money.
But that comes out of my share, Orson.
If the ship don't fly, then you don't get a share, do you? So
Yeah.
got to feed the baby, and it just like pats on whatever part of he's closest to.
Demi will roll her eyes.
He knows, like, there's a smile. He says, like, so low enough that hopefully the comms won't necessarily hear, but like, in response to the cap, like, told you the doctor be cool, and I think we could do it. We might want to buy another set of tubes.
All right.
Nanotubes are very important.
I mean, all right. We'll take it, and I'll like send over like let him know. Do we come and get the cargo, or are you gonna have it brought to us?
I'll have it brought over.
All right.
What dock
and
are you in?
I'll relay that information.
It says, one thing, I don't pay in advance, so you can maybe do half up front, but
We'll
that's
do
the
half
best you
up
can
front.
get. All right, good to know. Make me a quick insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could have one.
Yeah, you can make one as well.
That's the
I was
19.
distracted by Orson, I guess. That was a nat 1.
He's very distracting.
He got a 19, by the way.
A 19. Okay. This guy defo doesn't seem super doctor-like.
I mean,
You think his bedside manner is lacking somewhat?
I was already suspecting that, but
Not every doctor's a medical doctor.
well, all right.
Also, you don't normally drop off vital medical supplies to a warehouse.
Guys, seriously, we don't really care. A job's a job.
Orson is just kind of nodding.
That wasn't Demi, actually.
Sure.
That was-
No, I know. I mean, that guy's far too ruggedly handsome to be a doctor and covered in scars and shit. He's shifty as hell, but also we're kind of shifty.
it was totally like, which burner phone is ringing? Oh, this is the doctor
Yeah.
one. Okay,
Yes.
let me get the doctor robe on.
The doctor road.
I didn't need an insight check to figure out that this was shady as hell.
Yeah.
yeah.
His ID badge is like upside down or something.
Yeah. He like looks at his
Yeah,
badge
it's
before
got, like-
before saying, "Oh, hi, yes, it's Janus Flinch."
Yeah, it's like somebody else. It's like an alien on like the name badge.
Yeah, we just like we like go through the camera, goes through the phone, and we just see like him standing. He's wearing a lab coat, and then he's just in his boxers like down
Yep.
below, and there's like the knocked out body of a real doctor like lying like halfway out of a door next to him. But no, that's not true. He's a real doctor.
His credits are gonna
Sure, he is.
spend the same.
And he says, "Well, we expect this to be a success. These are vitally important medical supplies.
very important medical supplies. We
Yes.
understand. Just get them to us. We're leaving in a bit.
All right. You'll have them in a couple minutes.
Well, we better have the money first, or at least half of it up front.
And he says that they'll come in cash with the shipment.
Is that normal, being paid in cash?
Generally, no, but it's not unheard of.
Not unheard of? Okay.
Yeah. Like, cash is like basically kind of like floppy disks, like data chips that are loaded with money, and then you can like put money on one and give it to someone, and the money is pretty untraceable. Like it's basically like a credit card that you would pass,
it's a prepaid
pass
card,
around.
yeah.
Like prepaid card. That's fine.
Yeah. If you want, Captain, I'll go get the tube, and she'll like hold her hand out for a card unit like that.
Give it to you.
And Demi will go to wherever it is she needs to go to get a tube. I'm sure they're kind of like universal, so she can't
you can get them all over the place.
look it up. Yeah, she'll go to like the closest place.
So I imagine actually there's probably like one station on every dock because it's basically like a petrol station. And so you get them for 200 units.
So we're 500 units up so far, not having done any jobs.
So did everybody comply to the wellness check? And Rob, do you want me to roll like one medicine check for everybody since no one's in particular like?
You are super quiet.
Well, he's
Andrew.
trying not to blow out our speak. Like
I
our
know,
Sorry,
but when
but
he's speaking softly,
he was-
it means
when
it's
he's-
Sorry, I forgot to turn it up. So would you like me to roll like one medicine check for everybody for like the wellness check leaving because nobody has no direct signs or anything like that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
When you use the tongue depressor, H is like, be careful. You can take your whole finger off.
19 on the medicine, and everybody complied, right? No one's
Yeah.
not getting their medicine check.
Did the captain comply?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's you, Jade.
Nope.
You didn't comply?
Nope.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna literally throw a fucking fit. Just throwing shit, screaming. Not gonna do anything until you comply.
I mean, I'll be in my quarters. You can come talk to me there.
Nope, still gonna be throwing a fit. Gotta come into the base, get your check before anybody leaves. Them's the rules.
Show me what regulations you're talking about.
I will show you the exact regulation in the rule book. It's rule number 36.
Is it literally
In-
just a book of rules that he's made up?
In which rule book?
The medical rule book
Which medical rule book?
of proceedings and leavings of bases.
So the point I'm making is that not everyone is trained by the same people, and so there's loads of different medical books. So
Oh, of course.
you were trained by your
But
people.
I definitely have a book.
Yeah. It's in a language you don't understand.
I can't read that.
Them is the rules. I can't be a doctor on this ship if I can't follow my own job.
You did, want him aboard for some legitimacy, Cap. We get more jobs, better work with him. All you gotta do is keep him happy.
If you can't even take my job seriously, then what am I doing here?
Ask for one of the red ones. See if he's got any other red ones left.
Fine.
Can I have it if you're not gonna have it?
Aw.
All right,
I'm
and then
gonna
I
go
will.
through a medical examination. I'm getting my own damn lolly.
I will go
Damn it.
through the normal rigmarole. Your head's fine, all that stuff, and yeah. Thank you.
I don't feel fine though. I feel
How's your head?
burning rage. No, my head's fine, but I got this burning rage in the pit of my stomach.
Burning rage, okay, but how's your muscles?
I like that he's like now like opening up the book to a different section and following like the flow chart of what to do.
My muscles, they're feeling real tense right now.
Okay, so drink this yellow tea.
Actually, that's the
Welcome
perfect
back
medicine
down.
for you.
What's in the tea?
Herbs.
You know what? I'm feeling much better now. Just like
How are
maybe breathing that tea and really seemed to help me relax.
Okay, good. No sniffles?
No.
Okay, good. And then I'll flick both of your knees. All right, good reflexes. Here's your dolly.
Unwrap it. Thanks, Doc.
Of course.
Timmy's gonna wait until Kira puts it in her mouth.
What the fuck are you looking at?
Did you put it in your mouth?
Uh-huh.
She's gonna look disappointed and walk away.
And I will be taking notes on everyone's, if they have any illnesses or anything like that. I want to take extensive notes on every time we leave. I'm going to have a log.
I will have it said so that it's canon. Demi's a safe girl, so y'all don't have to worry about none of that.
Okay.
I
Thanks
mean,
for the
there are a lot of alien folks out there. You don't know what
Yeah.
they're in.
I'm for sure that future prophylactics are excellent.
Have you seen that robot chicken bit with the space herpes?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll leave the link here.
Yeah. So,
I'll oversee the shipping on.
yeah. So the shipment comes. It's on kind of like a hovering trolley type wheelbarrow kind of thing. They're very common.
Oh, Demi will be there too.
And you see, there's these two guys, both in ragged, filthy lab coats. One of them, the lab coat is far too small for him. He's like this huge, muscly guy. He's got this tiny little lab coat on, and he's kind of walking like his arms don't really work. And his hands are a bit white from the circulation being cut off at his armpits. But they lead it over, and they say, "This is the Gypsy.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Here's your medicine."
All right, open it up so we can inspect it.
So you go to open the box, and he puts his hand on it to keep the box closed, and he says, maybe wait till you're inside."
I imagine you're going to want our special cargo holds.
I imagine we do. These aren't the same men you spoke with, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I would just like to have it made official here and she has a paper version of the contract because he didn't do the electronic one like the other lady did. And he's just want it made official that we were not able to confirm the quality or state of the contents before they were passed over to our vessel, and we will not be liable for any sort of damage or contaminated goods.
He'll
blah, blah, blah.
take the contract and a pen, and in the signing section, he'll just draw a straight line and hand it back. Yep, that's fine. He'll hand over a card chip, and you can there's a little button and a little screen on it, and it pops up with a 600 on it.
She'll hand that to Orson.
Orson's, I guess, just chilling by the side of it, and are these guys very large guys in very small jackets?
One of them's really large, one of them's kind of average size. But
he to the big guy particularly. They aren't paying you enough. You need a better coat.
Standard issue. And he kind of gives you a you get it kind of look, or at least an attempted one.
If I were you, I'd buy yourself a better coat.
Well, if you were me, you'd have lots more important stuff to do than shopping. And they'll leave the trunk and kind of start walking away, but they're keeping a very close eye on you.
Ain't nothing more important than having full use of your arms. And he'll just kind of wave and turn and push the trolley thing up into the hole.
Yeah, you can store it up there. It doesn't take up too much space. It's quite a small shipment, it seems.
Sure.
But it must be expensive to be worth 1,200 units just shipping it.
Fits within the 50 cargo limit of the smugglers.
Yes, absolutely. It's about 6 cargo.
Yeah, he, knows they're shady and he's antagonizing them anyway because shits and giggles.
Because that's what Orson do.
That's how Orson do.
And as they're kind of like walking away, Demi will kind of say to him, "Is it's like if they're gonna be dumb enough to walk around with jackets that are too tight for them, don't give them pointers. Because if we have to fight them ever, if they're dumb enough to do that, we kind of want that happening."
I figure that me and you could take that guy solo, even if he did have use of his arms. The jacket just makes him look stupid.
Well, that just makes it funnier whenever we beat them up.
May not be wrong there. May not be wrong. And he's doing this while pushing stolen medical cargo into a smuggler's compartment.
Demi is gonna check it before packing it away,
Sure.
just to make sure that we're not doing like transporting volatile explosive materials.
I'll just roll my deck save now. As like,
See, you open the crate and there's like a bit of steam that comes out, or steam-like substance, dry ice more like, because it's refrigerated, and it's like kind of these individually packed vials, made to look, or the medical vials like flasks, and you kind of open one, pull it out, and inside you see something akin to like this white powder that is certainly not ever something that would be transported in this way. This is how you would transport like new stim packs, but this is not that.
Does it have like a fake liquid lining? Like, is the vial like
Nah,
got fake
nothing like
liquid?
that.
Okay.
It's just they're put in the boxes of medical supplies.
Okay. Is it some sort of drug?
You would think so.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Can I identify what type by looking or no?
It's if
if
you
you
had
dip
to
your lollipop in there,
Yeah.
you'll see
No.
if you had to guess, it's something akin to cocaine.
Space cocaine, you mean?
Spokane.
I knew you'd come around.
No, I hate it. I kind of feel like a little tiny bit of my soul has shriveled by complying.
I don't see this, do I?
Props not.
I said I went down to meet them. Demi is there. The captain is apparently there. You didn't say you were down there, so
Captain goes everywhere.
Yeah, I'm security. Of course, I'm gonna meet the thugs bringing drugs onto the ship.
I would open that crate. There goes our plausible deniability.
Well, a bit late now. You should have said that about 5 minutes ago.
Hey, what's
Maybe-
going on down there? Everything all good?
Demi's gonna slam the crate shut, lock it up, and like shove it into the compartment real fast.
Did we get the medicine?
Yep, got the medicine. Just get ready to
What
head
kind of
out.
medicine is it?
the kind that makes you feel real good.
Oh, like a new antibiotic or something?
Probably.
Or something.
You know, the kind of stuff that they always need out in the frontier.
So it's like.
Weird.
It's like antibiotic and medicine. They
Okay.
always need that out there.
It doesn't have a name? That's strange.
I didn't
Well,
ask
I'm
for a
ready.
name.
Oh.
The
Alright.
less I know, the better.
It looks like a barcode on the bottle.
Oh, he's gonna want to scan it.
No, he's shit.
Have you scanned it yet?
Listen. We don't get paid to ask questions. We just get paid to deliver it. You saw that
Well, we
nice
have to
doctor.
make sure we're not doing anything illegal.
No, we actually don't have to do that. We're just delivering medicine. You saw the nice doctor, man.
He did seem pretty nice.
He
Okay.
did, didn't he? He had that nice white lab coat and everything.
Also, you didn't see him, did you? Because you were doing all the medical checks whilst we were calling him.
Yeah, he didn't see
I was
it.
going back and forth and back and
Yeah, I mean, I figured he's probably going back and forth.
That's fair.
So yeah, he's the nice doctor. Said
So
we're
it's all
taking it.
good then?
Absolutely,
All right.
nothing to worry about.
Would anybody like some tea?
No, actually, I'd like to get off this fucking station.
Well, we could do both. I mean, I can go make tea now. Just saying. Anybody wants
Well,
some
I
tea?
mean, you don't want to like strap in as we're heading out.
You know, that's a good point.
I mean, you wouldn't want to like flail around and accidentally get hurt now, would you?
That's fair. That's fair.
That's against your regulations, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Space Core Directive.
All right, so just normal antibiotics. Got it. I'm heading back up.
Absolutely.
All right. And so, as everyone prepares to take to space once again, we will have our first ever break of this campaign.
Hey.
I'll be right back, guys.
I was sorely tempted to see if I could find another bar to do like an actual drinking contest in, because I'm only like 15 units away from getting my crab boots already.
How do you play that game that you told H about?
uh Daenerys?
That's the one.
Yeah. It's like Sabak from, or not Sabak, Pazak from Knights of the Old Republic.
Guess is gonna have to Google what that is.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's basically it's get to 21 without, or get to 20
Oh.
without going over. It's
It's
but
like
it's,
blackjack, but no.
yeah, but it's got like cards like that affect like the plus and minuses, and like has like trick cards and stuff,
Ooh.
so that you can, you know, it's like a combination between Uno and blackjack, because you get to
Oh,
fuck with
God.
the other player sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like one of my favorite one of the besides Gwent, it is probably my favorite. I'll just like to play like mini game things from an RPG.
Right back.
I just realized I didn't, describe my character or anything like that.
That's okay. We can get it when we come back or something.
And it pretty much looks like the picture, but
I was about to say, you have a picture, though.
yeah, I know, but everyone's like, "Oh, my character looks like so and so." I'm just like, I was just so excited to get going. So is the doc kind of like doesn't like evil or bad stuff?
I'm very against alcohol, gambling, drugs.
Wow. And you're on this ship? I'm pretty sure Orson and Demi are like always drinking, and the captain finished a bottle just
That's why I
yesterday.
tried to like really fuck with their hangover.
Sure.
I'm not like true like super against alcohol, but kind of against it. I frown upon it, but definitely very highly against like drugs and all that kind of stuff. And I think gambling's just kind of foolish.
Alcohol's more like I don't do it because of these. It's like vegetarianism.
Kind of, yeah.
Nothing wrong with vegetarianism.
No. Sorry, what I meant was, you do your own thing because of your own mental state, but you don't get on at people if they do it because.
Oh no, I don't.
Serious talk, Jade. Are you veggie?
I dabble. I don't eat a lot of meat or
Okay.
animal products, but I will. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. I mean, we tend to eat very balanced stuff
Yeah.
in our household, meat, veg, but just like dietary restrictions and things are probably going to come into effect
No,
in
if
80
I
days or so.
no, I know. Like I said, I don't eat a lot of them, but
Okay. There will be veg. There's always veg, but
But yeah, mostly against alcohol because of the bad health things and tobacco and anything like that. Highly against drugs because it's illegal. But on the flip side, super naive. So
yeah. Don't worry, it's not drugs. That guy had a lab coat. That warehouse is good. It has a red cross painted on it.
oh yep, that makes sense.
People in the frontier don't do drugs because they have more important things to spend their money on.
like drug? Oh, damn shit.
Super law abiding too. Like if there was like a jaywalking thing, I would definitely not jaywalk.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm
You know,
back,
that basically
motherfuckers.
doesn't exist over here. That's just,
No, yeah,
What doesn't?
you're at the will of the road, brother.
yeah. Jaywalking is
Yeah,
just a rule that Americans made up.
yeah. It's so dumb. Like I actually mentioned that I was in London, and me and a friend just like ran across the road dodging cars. And I was like, like that's illegal in America. He's like, oh shit, yeah, that's crazy. It's so weird to me.
I mean, technically it's illegal, but most places it's not. I mean, maybe in the bigger cities it's enforced a little bit more, but where I'm from, it's like, fuck no, they'll run out in front of you.
Well, it's also a really good way for police to question you if they don't have any other reason.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Because they can be like, jaywalk, gotcha.
Yeah,
like
like they
forgetting
originally
the
got
signal.
John Wayne Gacy on weed charges just to get him in jail. Anyway,
Is C back?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have
Doesn't
not heard
sound
to
it.
see.
This is already excellent. I'm loving it.
Good.
Can't believe you passed up on the tea set job.
I know.
Had a
I kind of wanted to do it.
7-session arc of planning all wasted.
Sure.
You
I
said
just
it was-
like there was like the sciencey job that I was interested in, like these action jobs of like people have gone missing and you've got to do stuff or whatever, and then there was just a tea set, and I was like, I kind of really want to do
Yeah.
a tea set.
That was what I was counting on, as I was like, Dan is going to be like, that's so inanely boring that there must be something interesting going on.
Yeah, you know that like we'll get embroiled in some political like
I'm
campaign,
sorry.
devious Machiavellian.
You're making your
It's okay.
piloting checks at disadvantage to stop the tea set breaking.
Oh God.
Speaking of flights, you said there were 3 types. I may have missed the third one. What was it?
I didn't actually mention it. The third one is like hyperspace through the
Gotcha.
jump gates. You can all find a much more in-depth description of it in the rules doc that I've
read that
painstakingly
this
created
morning.
for you all.
Oh, no worries. I didn't realize it was there. Thank you.
No worries.
Only because H has piloting skill, so I'm like, I should probably know some of it.
Yeah. For sure. And
I
so
think everyone's back.
yeah, they are.
Is Andrew back?
We were just waiting on you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. No, everyone's back. So, the Gypsy Orson begins the takeoff protocols, and the
Yeah, he falls into his chair very, very comfortably. And I think just because it was something that I did just a moment ago, he flicks over a takeaway menu and there's koi fish on it or something. And he just kind of looks at it for a moment and then flicks a couple of switches above his head and leave a pull or something. All good, Captain?
Oh, good.
Let's jam. And he pushes the thing forward.
Oh my god, I love that.
Thank you. Thank you, Liam.
But he accidentally presses the wrong button and a disco ball comes down from the ceiling.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boots and pants and boots and pants and
I
boots
mean,
and
that's
pants.
disco and not jazz, but okay. Well,
Got it.
hey, well, and the whole thing will shoot forward.
And so
I'm a scat man. Starts playing.
That's actually just an alien language here.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
And so... Oh my god, how many times am I going to say and so?
And so?
And so...
And so,
The Gypsy lazily rises into the air, turns, and takes off into the big black, weaving around and flying just enough out of the kind of no kinetic power zone around Zuva Station before Orson pushes forward another lever and the ship makes its first jump. And so, Orson, can we have our first piloting check, please?
Yeah, no pressure. I'm not even fucking kidding you. That was a crit.
Nice.
Is it a 27?
Beautiful. So you
We're
immediately
there. It's done. Great.
So everything's secured. The ship just takes off beautifully, like it was born to do. And the jump goes perfectly smoothly. Some of you can barely, if you didn't know, you probably wouldn't have noticed, which is pretty rare in, making the jump to kinetic power. The ship eventually becomes, after a couple seconds, it becomes stable. The fasten seatbelt sign is turned off, and you guys can move around again. The journey, that many jumps, probably going to take you the better part of a week to make. But to which are you heading first, if you please? The drugs or the distress or the lack of a signal? Sorry.
I thought we were gonna go and drop off and then pick up on our way out.
I mean, I think that seems convenient because the warehouse is not going anywhere. The other thing is potentially all over the place, so it might be the smartest move.
So is that warehouse first?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're setting a course for Vinter in the frontier, taking off. As you're traveling, a couple hours in, you see something that is a very, very rare sight to see. You kind of look out the window, and it's sort of the space equivalent to Northern Lights, I would say, in how rare it is to see. You see these two gigantic whale-like creatures swimming slowly through the vacuum, heading on what to some cultures is a sacred pilgrimage to the next veil, but no one's ever been able to track them far enough because they travel so far. and they're just slowly moving. They are like bigger than Zuva Station, gigantic, like almost planetoid sized creatures that probably have their own gravitational field if you were to land on one. And they just kind of go swimming lazily past in a somewhat opposite direction, heading heading back towards Zuva, but not to any point where they'd be visible from Zuva, heading out of Hesiod into some other galaxy.
H immediately looks out the window and just like has like that anime starry eye face.
Totally.
And like the camera cuts like down like the Osiris Gypsy, and Demi is in her quarters near the cargo bay, and there's like one of those little tiny slits in the cargo bay, and she's got like the same like wide-eyed like
Yeah, and you notice like there's a couple of small ships like following in their wake, trying their hardest to catch up, but probably pushing their engines too hard. And it's just one of those things that kind of makes time seem like it's standing still for a little bit, as you just kind of get lost watching these things before eventually they disappear in your rearview mirror and you travel on.
What are they called?
Everyone has a different name for them, though most people just call them space whales.
Are these like a frontier specific species, or are they just kind of?
So
Oh no, we're not on the frontier yet.
Yeah, you're not in the frontier. They're all over the place, but they just like travel so far, and they they're so few that
there's like none specific to.
Yeah, mind blowing to see them.
So I imagine Princess is somewhere near where I'm steering, and I think I rolled pretty high, so I think I might have seen them before, potentially.
Yeah.
Where he's a little bit more chill. And when she asks, he's like, not really taking his eyes off the front. He watched them like go by. I know that in Wademi we call them the Almanil.
Almanil.
I will put that in the chat for you. Which I've just looked up is Inuit for whale.
Ooh. Sounds very pretty.
Yeah. There's a lot of pretty things to be seen.
Almanil.
Oh, I've seen them once or twice.
You don't see anything like this back in Pazuzu.
No, well, they come too close to a planet and it starts to shake a little. That's what I've heard.
She's now just staring at these whales as they disappear into the space, I guess.
No one knows where they go. Maybe one day we'll follow them.
And Demi is just kind of sitting by herself, thinking to herself, this is something she would not have been able to see if she had stayed where she had come from.
Mm.
So yeah, on that note, what's everyone doing now that the jump has been made and it's just waiting at this point?
I have things my background can do, and I want to check what they are.
Okay, so who all wants tea now?
What's a tea?
Tea, boost your immunity.
Me and H will take one.
Okay.
Could
He
we
like
have
flashes you a grin.
could we have you up just a little bit, Andrew? I know you're turning it down to shout, and that's considerate, but you're still a little quiet.
Okay, so just the two of you?
I mean, you might have to go find the captain and Demi.
Eventually, Demi will head up to try and talk Orson into playing a real game.
We're on a straight trajectory right now.
Pretty much,
We
yeah.
just kind of leave it
Yeah,
going.
you're on the, autopilot as much as it is for now.
Demi, you want tea?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. Kara, you want tea?
Yeah, I'll take a cup.
Okay.
What's this real game you got? And he kind of like stands up and flicks a switch like above his head to like lock it into course as he goes and kind of twists in one like fluid motion.
Well, it's not that space poker that you were trying to peddle off as a real game.
What's wrong with
Daenerys.
Spoker?
It's not a real game.
Can't win.
Oh, is this the game you told me about? The one with the cards and the numbers? All
Yeah.
games have cards and numbers. What an idiot.
I mean, that's not all of the card games have numbers on them. Just, the ones you play for money do. And yeah, she'll explain the rules of Daenerys.
For sure. So, quick question before we get into cards. Andrew, what tea is Guts giving everyone?
The yellow one? Yeah, the yellow one.
So you've only got 2 of each.
Okay.
He paid for 4 teas and he paid more than a med pack.
He paid for 8 bags of 4 teas.
Oh, this okay. 4 different colors, right?
Yeah.
8 bags of 4. You know what? I'll just kind of randomize it, mix it up.
Okay, so do you want to roll or do you want to just pick whoever gets what? It matters.
Oh no, I don't like the way you said that.
Can we mage hand? Put the little white flag in the wrong.
May have just drugged the 2 people who can fly the ship, but
You're fine.
Roll it.
Okay. I don't know what I would be rolling for what to decide. But,
which color? Roll a
yeah.
d4, I guess.
I have what do I have? Yellow, purple.
Yellow, green, blue, red.
Yellow, green. There was only 4 people that wanted tea, right?
I think it was just 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want tea unless you're counting yourself.
Oh, okay.
You better be taking tea. Shifty ass.
You know it's dangerous when the doctor brings you tea and has his clipboard.
Here, drink this.
You
Nothing
know
can
what?
possibly go
I'll
wrong.
just bring out a tray of a yellow, a green, a I
Red and a
already
blue.
forgot the color. Red and a blue, and I'll let you guys pick off the tray.
How many are there? 4?
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yellow,
roll a
green, red,
d4. And whatever number I get is the thing. 1.
Yellow.
3.
Well, I mean, the D4 sort of falls apart after one person's had one, but 3 would be red.
Yeah, there you go.
Green and blue, awesome.
I rolled a 1 as well. Can I half the yellow one?
Blue!
So
Oh.
if
No,
it's
you
green
said
and
the next one.
If you want
You
the
just
other
did
one,
the next
Wilson, I'll
one.
take the other one. and
No,
I'll
no,
take-
no, no. He just wanted to share a cup of tea with you, that's all.
We're sharing a cups of tea now, I assume.
Sure, but he meant the exact cup. Never mind. Whatever color is going.
That sounds terribly unsanitary.
Green or red?
green or blue.
Or green or blue?
Blue.
Yeah.
You never shared a drink for someone?
Not from the same cup. Sharing a drink as in sitting with people and both having individual drinks, yes. But from the same cup is strange.
We need to get her a milkshake next time we're in station.
I mean, we're blasting through space and watching space whales. Like, there's a lot to live and experience in life. Don't always have to drink from different cups. And he kind of gives you a nudge, and then he'll take a different one. The
She
blue
looks
one.
terribly confused, but just kind of like, okay.
So, anyone who partakes in the yellow tea,
That's just me, I believe.
your disposition becomes sunnier. You feel brighter. Your body feels a little lighter. Your just kind of a little euphoric. Not high, not, you know, anything like that. You just get a really good mood.
Hmm.
Anyone who has the green cup, you begin to feel a little relaxed, a little calmer, not sleepy or anything, but just you're not worried. You know, it kind of dampens your anxiety a little bit. It's a very freeing, nice sensation. The red cup, the red tea makes whoever drinks it feel vital and strong and energized and just better physically rather than mentally. You know, you feel like you've just woken up from a really long, desperately needed sleep. And who has the blue cup?
That was me.
You begin to feel real fucking drowsy.
Great.
Uh-oh.
What have we done?
That's some good stuff. And he kind of like rubs his forehead a bit.
Yes, I was told it was very good. You know, very healthy. Gets all the immunities going. And why are you yawning so much?
I don't know. It's relaxing.
Hmm.
Wilson,
You're
you
not-
need to be focused. You're the best pilot we have.
Hey, I could pilot.
That's not what she said.
Oh, awesome. Boom.
He says that he's obviously drowsy.
I know you
Tell,
can,
but-
Captain, but you've got so many great leadership skills.
Yeah, I got like the best leadership skills.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. She says with a massively toothy grin.
Demi is eagerly trying to get this game going while Orson's mental faculties might be running a little slower.
So why don't you like to play poker?
No, Daenerys, we're playing a real game, Cap.
No, poker.
That's not a real game.
You just don't like it because you lose all the time.
Yes, and that's why I want to play a different one.
Demi taught me how to play Daenerys when we were back in the station. It's very fun. She's a very good teacher.
See?
Sure she is.
Why don't you relax, Captain?
Nope.
Oh, why don't you deal me in?
All right. Demi's gonna get the game going.
I'm gonna go check the cargo and walk around for a bit. All this sitting around is just a little much for me.
Are you feeling okay?
I've never felt better.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the game goes on. Should we do some roll-offs?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, I just need a d20. Orson, you're going to be at disadvantage because you're sleepy.
Yeah, great.
And H, you're going to be at disadvantage because you've got no idea what you're doing.
I'm the only one who's been taught how to play the game.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was taught to play poker.
It's not poker, it's Daenerys.
Yeah, but, you know.
The accent keeps changing from like upper class English to like lower class English. Just
Maybe
don't worry
that's a
about it.
character feature.
It's the
Ooh,
tea.
Is it just the
Just
straight roll, yeah?
Straight d20, I think.
That's a 10.
We're at disadvantage. So
Yeah, I rolled my two dice at the same time. I got
Okay.
17 and 10.
I got a natural 20 and then down to a 15, so I don't know what the modifier is, but he's
I think-
apparently real lucky.
I think it's just 15.
Demi starts cursing madly because she got a 7.
Okay. Now, I suppose I should have asked before, but how much money were you guys playing for?
Oh, we're playing for money? Oh, bollocks.
Even playing for money.
I only have
no, it was
10 units,
it was
I'm
a
afraid.
practice round. It was a
Oh,
practice
sure,
round.
sure. Is Demi a
Oh,
practice round kind of broad? This is a
no.
home game.
No. Well, if she only had 10, 5 or 10, what do you want to put in there, Harper?
Is that all she
You're
has?
gambling
I've only got-
now.
I've only got. Can I
It's
put?
it's a friendly game between friends.
Oh, so if it's friendly, there's no gambling involved.
It's not gambling if it's friends.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no house and there's no there's no house.
That's how that works.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I thought there was a bust on the station. They broke up some old ladies for playing that one game for minimal amounts of money.
Well,
No?
if it's an organized game in a place where there's like should be, you know, because if you have a house, you're paying taxes, and if you're not paying taxes, you're not an officially licensed organization that's allowed to own and operate as a gambling den. I don't know where this intelligence is coming from.
So it's
but-
legal.
I don't see no
Yeah.
station.
Okay, carry on.
Orson, could I have a con save, please?
Sure. I also want to
These
know
are
how much
hosted
money I'm
real-
winning, so.
Harper, how much did you put in?
1 unit.
One unit. Come
I'm
on.
playing conservatively.
Come on, Chris.
I love Harper so much. I could just see her with her serrated beak. I was playing conservatively, damn it.
Well, then, yeah, I guess just one from me then.
Oh, come on. Just because you lost.
No.
Okay.
You can't.
Oh,
If I outbid her, then she
Yeah.
can't play. That's how that works. She'd have to.
You guys
fold.
didn't give all your money away. You've got more shit hidden in there.
Okay,
but
fine.
Con save is a 13.
Okay, fine. 10. I bet 10. You can have 10 of my units.
Okay, Orson, you finish the round. You're not sure you're going to make it through the next round, but you're not asleep. At the
Okay.
Fine.
I've probably got about one more round before I get back to the wheel. Probably got a course correction. And he kind of, it's like
okay, Orson?
stretching.
He's fine. As
He looks kind of sleepy.
Demi puts down another 15 for the next game.
I mean, I won.
It fits in 1,
Oh,
and if she gets told off, then she'll put in more.
I feel bad for her. But okay.
I have to make the comlinks. She taps the ear and says that into the comlink.
Well, if you're making comlinks for everybody, why did I buy mine?
Oh, I only made it for me.
Okay, how about you better comlink then?
Okay, fine. And she takes the comlink out of her ear and plops it
Oh
on the
boy.
table.
Okay.
Did you mean to call me on the comm link?
It was an experiment, Captain. Don't worry about it.
Is everything all right up there?
They're
Absolutely fine.
gambling, but it's legal.
What is he yelling about?
He doesn't have a comlink. You just hear that from like 2 floors above.
Well, like I hear like muffling, and I imagine I know what it is.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
10
Hey,
units.
disadvantage.
How much is Orson putting in?
You said 15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 15.
He doesn't know the value of the comlink. He just suggested it. So.
Sure.
It's it cost the materials cost me 65 units, so don't break it. If you win,
So
I win.
is it normal in friendly games when you don't have enough money, then you have to put in your own possessions?
Okay.
One.
Orson is going to like really slowly, and like this. He's usually obscenely agile. Like really slowly, he's going to just like push the comlink back to you, and then like put his own money in front of you. And he'll pay the 15 ante for you this round.
You're too
I have a
kind.
big old smile on my face.
And then he is going to promptly lose because I rolled an 18 and then a 1. So
Oh. I rolled an 18 and then... Oh no, I rolled a 19 and an 18.
Oh.
So
Did I win?
This is a stupid
You-
fucking game. Damn curses.
you win 30 gold each, but you
Oh.
owe Orson 15.
I
So-
paid both my round and hers, but yes.
Yeah. So you basically
had-
get yours back.
I had
Sure.
15 gold that you gave me.
About halfway through, Orson just
I'm gonna
falls asleep.
I want to stumble back to in front of
Okay,
the,
yeah.
if I can manage it, and then just fall asleep in front of the wheel
Yeah.
because that's what's happening.
Okay, Orson, make a navigation check.
a disadvantage?
No, we're not doing that at the moment. It's still a straight course, yeah.
Okay,
It may change.
Make sure that you don't knock us off course.
14.
Okay, so you're fine for now.
Okay.
You're heading in the right course. You don't know if
Since
that will
I
be the case
saw
when
that
you
he
wake up.
Since I saw that he was sleepy, heading to the wheel, I'm gonna be following him just to check on him.
Orson's basically, slumped down, so like his shoulders are against the like where your lower back is normally on a chair, and like it's just super low.
Are you completely asleep now?
Oh no.
On if not on the edge.
Yeah,
He's
you're getting there.
basically for purposes.
Okay, time to go to bed, buddy. And I'm gonna like fireman carry you to your quarters.
He's just gonna really slowly say, "No pilot, no course."
You know what? That's okay. You're tired. We can figure
That's
it out.
Yeah.
Just get some sleep.
Do I see him carrying him
You
through?
realize it's like probably it wasn't that long since we woke up. This is like lunchtime. This
Oh,
isn't
no,
like
no, no,
normal human nap
100%.
time.
I'm gonna be
Okay.
taking notes on what the tea did to you and everything.
I mean, there is a little
yeah,
card that
everybody
tells
else
you what all
will-
the T's do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot to read that. I'd rather take my own notes. But you would definitely see me carrying Orson across the hall or something like that towards his room.
We should probably have someone in the pilot seat. I'll take over for a bit. And he just goes through and sits in the pilot seat.
For sure.
She had to fly her own ship off of her planet.
Mm.
Anyway.
And
Okay.
if you're still awake, Orson, right before you go to sleep, just come to me when you wake up so I can know how you're feeling. Good night.
So it gets to like mid-afternoon. Orson, you begin stirring. It's like, but a little like notification pop-up appears on the like dashboard of the ship at the helm that H would see, and it just says like, a proximity alert, space station, small, and then under that there's like quotation marks, and it just says Sven's bar, and you can see there's like coming up in the distance, it looks like a very small like outpost station.
Is this our target?
No, you're days away from your target.
Oh, okay.
It's just something that's along the road.
We're coming up in an outpost. Should we stop for a bit or just carry on? She says into her comm link, because you might as well use it.
What outpost is it?
Fenn's bar? She reads the whole gimmick.
Yeah, Sven's
whole thing.
bar.
Oh, Sven. Sorry, I thought you said Fenn's.
I heard Fen too.
Apologies.
It's Sven's bar. The DM can't talk. That was a joke. I'm sorry.
She's saying bar, Captain. If you couldn't understand
Bar?
that bar.
Can I,
B-A-R.
Can I use my feature of my background? I get around?
Hell, yes, you can.
I get around. That sounds like something Dimmy would have. Heyo.
Oh boy. So,
Inspiration for being the first one to use a background feature that I created.
alright. So, can I... I rolled a 19.
Okay. So, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, so you know someone here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to tell me who that person is, or would you like me to tell you?
I think it'd be best if you told me for right now.
Okay. So, the name rings a bell. You remember there was this one time you were in the middle of Estron, a pretty skeevy place, but you know, nothing like the frontier. And you were having a game of cards. And during the course of this game, your opponent became more and more desperate until they put the engine of their ship on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you took the hand. And the next day, that person came to you to try and get their ship back, or their engine back. And you refused. Things came to blows and they walked away with a bloody nose. And you remember that person's name was Sven. And if you recall, he did have a bar somewhere out on the fringes of the frontier.
Did you say Sven's bar?
Sven, I assume.
That's what I thought you said. I mean, we could just slip on by if we need to.
Oh, but Captain.
I mean, you don't understand. It probably would be best if we just slip on by.
Do you think they have any unique medicines there?
It's a bar. I wouldn't have thought so.
So is that a no? Like a definite no?
It's an I don't think so.
H,
Okay, so
why
how
are
to know?
you the one calming me about this message?
Sorry?
Why are you the one calming me about this message? Calling me about
Orson
this.
had to go sleepy buys.
Wait. Orson's not flying the ship.
No, he's asleep.
I think he's waking up though. That was me. Not H.
We could put in for a minute if we need to, but
Do we need to?
Yeah, I mean, Orson probably needs to stretch his legs and wake up a little bit before we get on the road again. We can stop for a drink.
Road again.
We
I
can
was
stop
thinking
for a
that as
little
well,
bit.
Liam.
Sorry?
I was thinking that as well.
Do I get the feeling that we may need to stop for anything? Because if not, I'm gonna follow the captain's orders.
She said we could slip on by.
Yeah,
Harper.
she hasn't given any orders as of yet.
all right. So this is what we're gonna do: in and out.
Yes.
You don't know me.
You do know if it's in and out. I have to check you all again when we're going out.
Okay.
She's like, get those red ones to the top.
That seems a little superfluous.
I mean,
Unless it's like a quicker check than the last one.
Superlative.
If we
That's
dock
perfect.
somewhere and leave ship, when we come back, you get checked.
Do we get another lolly?
Well, of course.
Get in, we're stopping for the bar. If that is your orders, Captain. She adds
Fine.
sheepishly.
but I will not be responsible for what happens.
If you remain not to give you orders, Captain, you can do whatever you like. But if you don't come off the ship, then you don't need to get checked by the doctor.
No,
I can keep you company. I don't drink.
Yeah, but I could really use a drink, and honestly, this walking around didn't stretch my legs nearly enough. Yeah, let's go.
Very well.
Okay.
Captain's orders. And H goes to dock at Sven's bar.
It's no discredit to H, but the landing just doesn't have that Orson Kane smoothness to it.
Totally understandable.
It's a perfectly serviceable, no problems with it, but when Orson lands it, it's
There's a reason on the backup pilot as opposed to the
yeah.
main pilot.
It's more that just when Orson lands it, it's a thing of beauty. that no one else can quite manage. But
I,
it's
I figure Orson had like woken up slowly and then was just like strumming on the space guitar, and then like as it lands, it kind of goes twang, and he kind of just like frowns at the shake. But he's just waking up real slowly,
Yeah.
and I also don't imagine like their comms necessarily, unless he's buzzed in, go through to his room because that would be awful. So he's just chilling.
It
So-
depends. We have the comm. I have the comm link in my ear. Do we have a comm link for the entire ship?
I mean, there's speakers around the ship, but not in the. It's not like Star Trek where every room has one. Like they're in the common areas.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. It's more like a boat where they have them like
Yeah.
periodically. We have now docked at Sven's bar.
Demi's
Get
gonna
everyone
go
rooms
get
up.
Orson, so he's not left on the ship. Especially
You-
considering she suggested that he needed it to stretch his legs and wake up.
You find him kind of like half propped up in bed, like strumming some sort of jazzy tune.
Yeah, Orson, you feel fucking great. That's the best sleep you've ever had.
And it's been how many hours?
Like 4 or 5.
Like 4 or 5.
How are you feeling, Orson?
How many people are piling into my room? What is this? An intervention?
No, we're stopping for a drink.
Oh, the opposite of an intervention then.
Or the best kind.
He like finishes the little strum and puts the guitar aside. Feeling good, dog?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your sleep?
He thinks for a moment, and he kind of like gets out of bed, and he's in these like kind of slacks or whatever, like sleep short type things.
Well, he'd be put into bed in whatever. Like he was carried to bed, I think. So I don't know if.
Well,
Unless the docs changed him.
Yeah.
I changed himself. I see. You don't want to get your shitty work gear like.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Uh, 12.
What?
Real fucking good.
Wow, alright, and I'll put that in my notes.
He's not an idiot. Can he presume that the doc poisoned him basically with tea?
Yeah, you know it was the tea that put you to sleep.
Yeah. So he's like, bending over, dressing, like half dressing or whatever, and Doc, next time you poison a pilot, make sure it's not your own.
Well, can you say it was poison if you feel this good now?
I can say it wasn't conducive to my flying.
Oh, but we took care of that, and now I know what tea it is. We're all good.
Right. He's gonna as he goes by, I presume there's space for him to leave his room. He's gonna just gently slap the chops of Brack and go, "Tried to tell you. We crash next time. On you, buddy."
She's not that bad a pilot.
No, I know he's not. You're
I
not
know.
there, and he's not blaming you. But I don't know. Medicating your pilot it does not seem like a good way to go.
Pretty sure that's not in the rules.
So
Yeah,
clearly
it might not be in the
everybody-
rules. That's true. But yeah, he just gives him a little slap on the pat on the cheek, kind of slap on the chops, and he seems completely chill. Like there's no anger or anything. So Demi, you talked about a drink.
Yeah. Some place called Sven's Bar. Have you been here before?
I'm making a lot of history rolls. Have I been here before? Or do you want?
Yeah, you can make a roll.
We did come out the frontier this way, and if she had to meet him to gamble with him, I guess I probably
Well,
have.
he was in Astron though. Like he wasn't at his bar when they were gambling.
Okay. 16.
16. Yeah, you've been here before. We've stopped here a couple times. It's a proper dive bar. Like, it's literally like a floating building. You know,
Okay.
it's not like a full big space station. It's
Okay.
it's got a bar on it.
Mhm.
A couple
It's like the
places
bar
to
at the
stay.
end of Spaceballs,
Sure.
or the diner at the end of
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
There's a car park ship
Space
docking area
Yeah.
and a bar, and that's it.
Sven's, he like turns around to you, Demi, and goes, "We'll need those grav boots where we're going. The floor's sticky enough."
Sticky floor.
Wow. Well, I don't have them boots yet.
No, but I know.
Unfortunately, she grumbles to herself. Like, I think like she's been talking about getting herself like a pair of shiny Maglock boots, like
Yep.
since like you guys met, and you keep taking her money in like the card game. She bitches about it every single time.
Yeah, I've seen that space piggy bank of yours. You'll get there one day, kiddo.
So close. I was so close. I had to go and play cards with you again.
Rob, what do units look like physically?
So they don't have physical form, but there are data cards, like prepaid cards that you can fill up with them and use.
Oh, I see. Okay. So gambling, it's more like a.
No, so if you're gambling, like you would have your chips, but then everyone would put like a prepaid card in the middle of 10 units.
Gotcha. Right. That makes perfect sense. Carry on.
Yeah.
Sick.
Or you'd probably swipe your fancy wrist going
Yeah,
or something,
or that,
like pass
yeah.
them wirelessly or something like that. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, you kind of land your ship, and like the little like clamps come up to kind of hold the landing gear in place.
Can I do a quick scan of the other ships that are docked here?
Yep, absolutely. Give me a quick perception check just to.
Oh, that is a 6 on the dice. Let me see what her perception is. 10.
10. Yeah, there's a couple other ships. Most of them seem similar to yours, kind of mid-sized, like scoundrel-esque. There's one like that's real small, like a single-person fighter type thing, but nothing particularly interesting.
All right.
So you you head on over and step into the bar, and it's got you open the door, and inside
Why do I think it has saloon doors? Is that just my brain?
it has space saloon doors.
The space doors are open, an automated voice calls.
And then as they like flip back and forth, it's like the space doors are open. No, so yeah, you walk in, and it is like a scene in a western where like everyone kind of stops and like looks up at you. And as you guys kind of head in and approach the bar, like a couple people watch you. Most people go back to their drinks, and then Kiara steps in, and no one seems to know who she is. But as she's kind of walking up towards the bar, a man comes from the back. He's like very tall, massive belly, kind of weird sort of spiky chin beard, and he's carrying like a very large like butcher's knife, and he's wearing a white apron. He's covered in blood, and he goes, "Hey, we got some more of that." And he like looks up and just locks eyes with Kira, and he goes, "Oh no, 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 no," and he like kind of points to the door, and he's like, "No, you're not allowed. You're barred."
You can't bar me from the bar. I got good coin to spend. I won the engine, fair and square.
Everyone is focused on you in this place now.
Demi is pretending like she doesn't know the captain.
H is also pretending she doesn't know the captain.
That's
following your order.
That's all fine in
Follow your
theory,
order.
but when only one ship landed and then some people came in.
I'm following orders.
I mean, he didn't see the ship land.
True.
We're like in that classic D&D party group, and then two of us just split off and like.
And
Rhubarb.
you see him like put down the butcher's knife and reach beneath the bar, and he says, "I ain't gonna tell you twice."
Come on, it's been years.
Yeah.
Can't still be sore about that. You busted my nose. I took your engine.
Make me a persuasion check.
18.
He reaches under the bar, and you see he's got like a bolt sweeper. He slams it on the bar, and he says, "It took me 2 years to get back here. 2 fucking years."
My face ain't ever looked the same either.
I want you and your fucking crew to get out of my fucking bar right fucking now.
Fine.
That's what I thought. And he like straightens up, kind of looks to the bartender next to him, who sort of like shrugs and looks away.
All of us.
Yes, get the fuck out.
I mean, you're fine. She's fine. Why can't we just get a fucking drink? It's, turning away well-paying patrons. It's probably why it took you so fucking long to get back here in the first place.
There will be other bars, Demi. Please, let's not have a thing here.
You got a problem? And he like leans into you, Demi.
I want a drink.
Well, you can go somewhere else. Or
See,
you can come back with better company. Not this
See, now I rather like the company that I'm keeping, and if you would like to keep your nose looking as pretty as it does right now, you might want to think about changing whatever tone that you were about to say.
Oh, fuck.
She says, like, narrowing her eyes.
He says, "Well, if you like the company you keep, that's fine. I guess you must just be a backstabbing bitch too."
Hey! I deserve that.
Hold on. Demi decks him.
Boom! Attack roll.
Yep, okay. That's a 12 plus whatever.
Whatever.
Oh. Well, I don't have my character open, you piece of shit.
His AC is an 8, so
She hits then.
yeah. So give me that sweet damage.
4 bludgeoning, because she's real strong.
Real strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he just like you smack into him, he like falls back against the back of the bar, and there's like smashing glasses.
Didn't your mama ever tell you to be polite to strangers? Because they treat you how you treat them.
Like,
She says, pointing a finger at him.
kind of opens and closes his mouth to like move his nose and feels the pain. There's like blood dripping down into his mouth. And he goes, "Oh, you fucked up now, Missy." Raises his fucking gun. And
Demi will pull out her hand cannon and be like, "I would think twice about that if I were you, friend."
Deck save from Demi, please. He rolled
Alright,
real
then.
bad on his smartness check.
Smart.
I mean, I couldn't intimidate him. It had to be his role.
Well, he rolled a natural 20 to against.
To proceed with his actions.
Yeah.
23.
Okay. So yeah, you duck out of the way as this like gigantic arc of just bright blue light just erupts from the end of this thing. You take 4 laser damage as it just like kind of singes at you. The place erupts. There's about 24 people in here apart from you guys. Half of them go sprinting out the front door towards their ships. The other half run up to the bar and start grabbing shit as all hell breaks loose. Let's have a very quick initiative roll, please.
I would like to remind my friends that if you are within, hold on, 5 feet of me, you get a thing.
Is that a initiative? Because I might need it.
No, hold on.
I do.
You can take the dodge action as a bonus action if you're within 5 feet of me.
Great.
So you would have been standing next to the shotgun thing that just fired.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was near me then, but
Yeah.
in for future, that will be a 21 on my initiative.
Ooh.
I rolled
Yeah, I
2,
forgot a
so that is 6.
15.
I'm real proud of 3 that I rolled.
Did you say you rolled a 3?
Okay.
Yes.
You rolled a 3 and got 10?
Yeah,
It's bananas.
baby.
Dimmy and Guts, you guys are up first. We'll say Dimmy first because she's like right up in the fray.
I'm gonna shoot him. Once with my hand cannon, once with my machine pistol,
Do it.
and then we'll see how it goes from there. Let me just a D4, 2D4, and a D8 because I'm sure I'll hit. Hand cannon's gonna be a 25, and the machine pistol's gonna be a 25 and a 25.
Hits.
Right. The hand cannon is going to be, max damage 13. And the machine pistol is 10. As, like, he pulls out the bolt sweeper and, like, shoots Demi. And, like, he was kind of, like, back behind the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
And so she does, like, a John Wick combat roll up onto the bar and just, like, shoots down.
Okay. Yeah.
Into him.
Are you shooting to kill?
Let me roll a wisdom save.
You see a really
Yes.
sad look on Goots' face.
Okay. Then 2 in the chest. Sven goes down. Just like slumps back against the bar. At this, one of the other patrons runs up to Dimmy, brings a like bar stool, smashing into the back of her legs. That's a natural 19 to hit. Plus
that'll
4,
hit.
so 23. Okay. So you take 5 bludgeoning damage and need to make a strength save, please.
20.
Okay.
No, 23.
So you manage to stay on your feet, like stumble forward a bit, and you just see like everyone who's left. There's about 12 other patrons are all like fighting one another. There's guns going off. It's just pure chaos. People are like trying to get to the bar to like grab bottles before they run. The one bartender is like run and locked himself in the toilet. Guts.
Alright, the one that just ran up on Dimmy, can I, like, tackle his ass?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Can I tackle his ass?
Could you turn yourself up a little bit, Andrew, please?
There we go.
Thanks, mate.
So, I guess that's gonna be a strength.
Yeah, if you're trying to grapple him, yeah, athletics.
Or athletics.
Or
yeah.
athletics or acrobatics.
Alright, that's gonna be a 13.
Yeah, you beat him.
All right.
So yeah, you just like grab hold of him, bring him down. He's pinned. You don't do any damage, but you're holding him down. Orson.
Orson turns to Kira and is just like, I woke up from a nap for this. Oh. He is going to basically stand relatively near Kira, and anyone that like charges either of them, I'm going to save my action to mother the fuck up. But
Yeah.
apart
For
from
sure.
that, he's just like standing there and not really getting involved.
So it's the turn of the bar now. So you see like a few individuals. There's a three-way scrap going on. There's these two women who just have each other by the collars and are just like trading punches like it's WWE. There's one guy who's like trying to slam his like throttle his once drinking partner with one of the bar stools, like bending him over backwards over a table. You see one guy sprinting towards where you stand, Orson.
All right. He is gonna like wait for him to basically be kind of right up against him, and then with alarming speed, I'm gonna pulverize him with the striker. 17 to hit. First hit.
Hits.
Smashes under the jaw. He's not aiming to kill them. So that's max damage on that. So that's 4 laser, 6 bludgeoning, and 4 more from the dexterity mod.
Okay, he's down.
14. Yeah, so he just pops him out. He's not aiming to kill guys in a bar.
Yeah. So I imagine the striker has like kind of slightly pushed out like metal, almost like piston-looking things, and as it connects, there's just the dull force like into his jaw, and then the buttons to press, and there's just that, and it just like his whole body shakes, his head gets thrown back, and he just goes flying back into the table that he just jumped over. Another one.
He's gonna turn around as if that like punctuated his sentence, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one is going to dash for guts, broken bottle in hand. He's going to say, "Get off him!" and roll a 12 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. So you just kind of like, I imagine like duck down slightly, and he just kind of slips on a bottle. Another one is gonna try and throw a glass bottle at H, but that's gonna be an 11 to hit.
Nada.
Yeah. And Kira.
I'm gonna pull my laser pistol and take a shot at the one that's rushing Boots
Yep.
for a 15.
15 hits. Are you aiming to kill?
Yeah. Do I get sneak attack?
Yeah, he's within melee with Goots.
That's 16 points of damage.
All right, he's dead. You just
And I'll, okay.
You just see him drop, and then like sickening, his face just like crashes into a shelf full of glass.
And I'll turn to Orson and I'll be like, imagine how he would have reacted if he knew what I'd done to his sister.
I mean, we don't talk about that, but okay.
And finally, H.
He's never going to find out now.
How far away is the guy who threw the ball?
Not far, 15 feet maybe.
She's gonna panic and be like, "I didn't expect this!" Clench her fist and swipe on a little fireball icon. and she's gonna swing her fist back and punch as she casts firebolt at the guy.
Sure. So, what does it look like? Is the firebolt like? Is it a laser? Is it like an actual ball of fire that flies at him?
I think it's cool if it's a ball of fire.
Dope.
It like punches the air, and it like something in the glove ignites the air, and it becomes like a hydrogen shot, I guess.
Yeah. Self-contained flamethrower.
Exactly. That is a 19.
Hits.
I'm assuming I don't get to decide if I'm gonna kill him or not because it's flames.
Yeah, probs not.
Oops, I dropped that. I'm gonna count it. That's a 6. And a 4, so 10 fire.
How much? Sorry.
10 fire.
He is still alive, but screaming. His body is horribly burnt, and he runs and like jumps through a window,
Jeez.
and like crashes on the floor outside, just like grabbing his face, his skin melting. Back to the top.
We should go now.
Guts.
I still have this person grappled, right?
Yeah.
All right. Not really trying to hurt anybody, so I'll just keep him grappled. Yeah.
All right. He should have made a check to escape, so we'll do that now. Give me just athletics, please, Andrew. Andrew?
Oh, I was muted. 19 on the die, so 21.
21, yeah, you keep him held easily. He's like struggling against you. He's like, oh, you so goddamn strong.
Unfortunately, I've been like subduing him and looking kind of at the floor, so I haven't seen all these people murdered.
Dimmy.
Just say.
It's your go.
Right. So, is there anyone that looks like they're actively a threat to any of my friends or companions?
I mean, there's the dude who hit you in the back of the legs with a chair.
I thought Guts has him grappled, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure, sorry. But yeah, there's like everywhere is chaos and fighting. There's no one currently harassing your team, but that's not to say they're not about to.
Which is why H yelled,
Yeah.
"Let's go now."
Yeah. There's like a wildness in her eyes, probably from being shot. Might have triggered something a little bit, and she's gonna see the guy grappling with Guts, and she's gonna launch herself off of the top of the bar because that's where I said she was, and would like to try and snap his neck on the way down.
Sure.
Oh, come on. While I'm grappling him?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Will I have advantage because Guts is grappling him?
You will.
Man.
What kind of roll do you want? You want athletics? You want a
Just make a
straight
melee attack, yeah.
Okay. That will be a 9 plus. I don't know why I keep closing out of my thing. 8 for 17.
Hits.
Okay, so it's a 4 bludgeoning for an unarmed strike plus a D4 because I'm a. Wait, no, brutes are only with a weapon attack, so just 4 bludgeoning.
Okay, so you like crash into his head. He's not dead, but
Use my second attack and try and finish him off.
yeah.
That's 6 plus 8 for 14.
Hits.
Yeah, okay, another 4.
He's dead.
Yeah, so it's like it's like one of those like she like takes like a flying leap off the thing and kind of like takes over like the headlock or whatever, and whenever she like slams down into the ground, she just wrenches his neck the rest of the way.
What the shit, Gibby?
He was attacking you. Self-defense.
We could have knocked him out. And what the hell was it? What's all this chaos? Jesus Christ.
Who's that?
Who's Jesus? Who's Jesus
I was
Christ?
gonna say Jesus
He's a
Christ.
friend of mine. I reference him a lot.
He's everybody's friend. But no, I
Unless you
say
say
that, but like Demi doesn't actually like respond to it. Like I think like she kind of sees Orson and Kira and H, and she's gonna use her movement to maneuver her way through the bar, kind of ignoring Guts because he's safe, and she's
Yeah.
gonna like head towards them.
For sure.
Yeah. So whichever one of them is closer.
They're next to each other.
Yeah. Well, there's H, and then there's Kira.
Yeah, H is a bit behind them.
Okay.
Awesome.
Still like relatively back to back with Kira. It's just like took us all of about 3 hours until we started killing folks. And in that time, could I make 3 non-lethal attacks against other people running around this bar?
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's almost like with a lazy kind of attitude, but he like flowing like water. That is a 16, 17, and a 21.
All hit.
Okay. So he like another uppercut, and then I imagine this kind of like his whole body kind of spins into some sort of like hook kick and kicks someone in the back of the head, and then there's like some gut punch or something as he's spinning around in this bar. Damage. 9 to somebody, and then
So you knock out one guy.
okay. That is 8 to somebody else
Knock out another guy.
with the hook kick, and then back to the striker. 12.
You knock out 3 dudes in 3 hits. So
Yeah.
I imagine there's this like cohort of these 3 people just like looking to dive towards you, and you just like nothing, put them down.
Yeah. In this dingy bar, he moves like fluid and takes them all out. Single
For sure.
strike.
So of the 4 remaining people in this bar, they kind of seeing the situation change will just like get up and just try and sprint past towards the door. Does anyone have anything they'd like to do as these people are running?
You think I should check if he's still alive?
I would also like to run to the door because I want to leave
Okay.
swiftly.
Yeah, Demi's gonna kind of shake herself and head over to Orson and the captain.
I would like to opportunity attack, just salute one of them as they go by, or all of them as they file by, and he's just like not swinging.
Loved it. And so the bar finally becomes quiet, and you're all left alone, except H, who's now like back on the Gypsy.
Kira will holster her weapon. Well, that went as well as I expected.
Sorry, I lost my temper.
We ain't in no war here, you know.
You guys don't know.
No,
Just
he's
weird
just,
next
but
one.
he's
Okay.
just saying
okay,
there is
okay.
war in this universe. Like-
Gotcha. So like,
and you went fucking berserk as
Yeah.
far as he's.
Yeah. So and that was me. Yeah. So she'll
Okay.
kind of like twitch a little bit at that and roll her shoulder and say, "No, you're right. Won't happen again."
Does H know? Or does she not? You discussed this.
Nope.
No, I
Nope,
don't think
gotcha.
she did. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We should probably head out.
Might be best. Are there security cameras?
No, none that you can see. This is a shady ass place.
Not that I can see. I would like to actively look.
Make me a perception check. Or investigation, up to you.
17 plus what is my perception? Why do I keep closing out of my goddamn sheet? 21.
Yeah. You like go into the back office and you see there's like no feed hooked up for security cameras. There's no evidence of security cameras anywhere. You think this place is perfectly off the grid.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take a couple of bottles from the bar and then walk back. Like he's just gonna step between corpses and pools of blood and smash glass without like interacting with any of it,
Yeah.
and just grab a couple of bottles and then just pad back and not say anything to anyone else.
And Debbie will head back after making sure there's no security feed. Head back to her room and not come out for the rest of the day.
Sure. And so, as everyone loads back up onto the ship, ready to take off again, we're going to end our session there.
Go beans.